I fixed everything. The recording can begin.
Did you though?
That is actually going to be helpful later, so thank you, Evan. When I try to resync these up.
Fucking shit. My hand hurts.
Is it? How bad of a burn is it?
It's a normal burn. It's not terrible, but
Yeah, I can't even see where is it?
she's used to burns.
Oh,
It's on all of her fingers.
Weird. Yeah, they look a little puffy.
That's probably why I didn't notice, because it's just covering so much space.
Yeah, I usually see them when they're but sorry, that's so painful. You're doing the right thing by putting it under cold water and putting ice on it.
I also put some silver sulfite on it.
Ooh.
I'm fancy.
Yeah, fancy.
Oh, in case I'm gone later and Mark forgets, there's ice cream in here, and there's also some vegan ice creams.
Wow.
There's also those
Cookies
and
and
still
the rest of my
have
shitty
that
ice cream.
terrible
Yes.
ice cream that you got, so you could also have that.
Ice cream is delicious.
Making food and stuff.
What?
So much making food and stuff. that was about it.
I'm gonna go potty.
Go back and look at Quilla notes.
Josh, did you decide if you want that staff or?
Probably not, but I have not even begun to think about items. So I'm still rocking all the same stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I guess Evan's the only one. Oh, and Jared, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, kind of.
Any other weapons or like magic items that are loose or available for use? Because I've accumulated quite a few things at this point.
I think Joel had a list of some sort. I think we have that rod with the tentacles on it.
Oh yeah, you have a tentacle rod.
Nice.
I don't know. Hey Joel, do you remember what 3 items we have laying around with the big help game? I know we got that tentacle rod.
Oh, no.
No. So I think we discussed it a while back.
What other items? Like big magic items?
Yeah.
No. Because the tentacle rod, I don't think there were any like really good weapons or armor, I feel like, that was notable and left behind for like everybody to.
Right. Grab.
Yes,
Maybe
there are
a ring or
maps.
something?
Ring of Power?
I know there's a spell storage ring that I think Nazira
ends up with that.
Okay.
Come on. You come on.
Yeah.
We all knew that would end up.
Remember that, and Sarah just assumed it was gonna be hers, and I was just like, well, I mean, like, I just made the note that spells or like rings of storing or spell storing can be incredibly effective on people that can't normally concentrate or cast spells.
No.
So like, give that to your fighter, and suddenly you can have another concentration spell active in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no.
Spell slots.
The,
She does use a lot of spell slots.
She does use a lot of spell slots and a lot of money buying spell scrolls.
So the last time I see mention of Quilla, and I'm assuming Nazira, I think you guys looked at the same time, right?
Mhm.
It was a 12-18.
Yeah, Carly.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us what the last stuff you remember actually being here for? If I'm remembering correctly, you went on the quest line in Scofia.
Yes.
Right?
I was there for Scopia. And then we went. I was just reading my notes actually. We were partying in Ketten. Or in Valkyries actually. And yeah. There was a dude who was eavesdropping on me and somebody. And we learned stuff about how Shippy was sent to us. I was given a scabbard for a sword that I gave to people.
Ah, yes, which is not as needed anymore now that you've had a run-in with those people.
That were hunting us.
Ooh.
They found me.
They found you.
Because I like to use
Don't
swords.
know how they found.
Well, it was they arrived not even related to your sword use.
Oh yeah, we set off a giant flare to the whole entire world. That shit
As
happens.
you do.
That's one does.
We dropped some stone into the earth and lit a beacon.
Alamein, or Alamein?
Oh man, that was the gift that was listening, eavesdropping. Oh, and then we friggin' murdered
Friggin' murdered.
Wow, I had a lot of pages in
the
there.
whispered litany was there / had taken over somebody and was eavesdropping on our conversation.
Whispered Litany talks mad shit.
Yeah, she talked mad shit and
Yeah, she took on the appearance of a guard and was doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys I think Quilla was the one who spotted her.
Yeah, I used something to detect I saw a scrying spell. And then we bring in the guard and Whispered Litany takes over his body. Wallen fills in details while we hold him in a mental prison. He'd been taken as a child, but his mother removed? I don't know what that means. He's like that to Whisper Litany. Tells everyone that people are going missing. 26 had ties to the Northern Imperium, 45 more expected. Officially, oath-binding magic is forbidden in the Imperium, but it was used by the Imperium itself. Lewin believes they are being consumed rather than recruited. And he says it feels like desperation or preparation. Gathering strength before the storm. Whisper Litany suggests that we could work together. And she is an asshole. That's
true facts.
It's true to form, and I like that that's the last thing in my notes.
Most useful note.
And then Nibbles exploded them.
Yeah, Nibbles had some exciting.
Nibbles had some.
Oh man, Nibbles died almost.
Nearly.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, so let's this will be a bit of a kind of like session 0 and just kind of like getting everybody on the same page for this as we've got new players introduced and 2 players returning after a long hiatus. And a lot of story threads have progressed substantially in Nazira and Quilla's absence. It's, in real life been months and months, like 9 months or something, or how long?
That game was in December 18th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 5 months, basically.
Yeah. And in game, it's been about like a week.
Yeah.
So,
That tracks.
but a lot's happened.
Like 3 days.
And Jared, can you hear me? I don't have my mic on over here.
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it'll be a little bit of a session re-zero, with some kind of role play and story stuff involved as well. And we'll also, hopefully get at least some time actually in the game with you guys doing some stuff. Yeah, so that's great. We've got a pretty good idea where Quill left off, but again, Josh, you have little idea of like all the stuff we've been kind of like recapping up till now. So you and I have talked a bit about kind of like the setting and stuff, and at this point, the players have become aware of a lot of different, really substantial threats to the world. And they've also learned that the evil, the not well liked Gwengold Imperium is in fact ruled by, if not a devil, like a devil's, familiar, like their servant. The Queen, the current Imperator, Constance Gwengold has sat on she's a human who has sat on the throne now for like coming up on 200 years, holding the mantle of the 5 blessings of the 5 divines, one of which is long life and health. That's the story. Secretly, that is one of the 3 aspects of Asmodeus present in the world. Way back in the day, gods and stuff walked on the world on the surface and they did all sorts of crazy things with people, and they made amazing civilizations and fought incredible wars and all this stuff. But at some point in the past, the gods were forced to leave by some reason or another. It's often described as kind of the separation of the planes when things became more as they are now in the geophysics of the world, the universe. And in that time, gods were the first to go, then like devils and angels and lesser creatures of power, and then eventually like elemental creatures were separated off into their own planes as well, as like basically like, think of it like gravity came into effect, and suddenly there was like, this separation of like materials kind of becoming more discrete. And in that process, it seems that some of the big players, particularly Asmodeus and Orcus, were not content to have their control or will be removed from the world in its entirety, and left behind great artifacts of power that could be used or would enact their will in their absence. For Orcus, it seems that thing is twofold. So you guys have come to know of, well, you especially, more than even the party, and to some extent have learned about the Necronomicon and its new influence in the world. That one gift left by Orcus, and the second, the Wand of Orcus, which was in one of the last great wars, an artifact created by ripping and like destroying and despoiling the champion of a god of good, god of Ilmater, yes, a god of like taking on the burden of other people's suffering. This purely good deity, their champion, taking part in some great battle during the end of the world, it seemed like at the time. So those are the 2 pieces that Orcus left behind. Meanwhile, it seems Asmodeus left behind some instrument of their power that is now in 3 parts, 3 basic aspects of their power. one of which the party has had some some face-to-face interactions with. The Whispered Litany, or Ashemaboka, is this Asmodeus's voice in the world. The voice of the law is kind of what it roughly comes out to.
She's a dick.
And she was doing some bad stuff in the cities where the party's been playing around in, doing some culty things and doing some sacrificial things, getting all sorts of weird stuff going on. And then just recently also caught her as she was trying to spy on some proceedings happening in Valkyrie after they had returned. So they've learned about those vying powers in the world, trying to dominate it and bring its power under the world's power under their control. So I think those are the two big ones. And so obviously the devilish influence over the Gwengold Imperium. The players have seen that as just the political entity of the Imperium itself also being a major agitator, and there's things going on through that devilish influence that are far-reaching and coming to a head. And you've also just the fact you've gained the attention of some of these elements is pretty worrying. But Gray is neck deep in his own contest, his own battle with forces that would unmake or remake the world in its own image. Gray, what do you want to tell us about your foe?
The rot.
Yeah.
There is something called the imminent rot. Gray had been infected with it at one point in time. One thing you would learn about Gray is that he has a large birthmark kind of thing, kind of in the shape of a tree. He eventually found his way to becoming a druid, and had a circle that he was a member of that had a large tree that essentially got infected by the rot, and completely ended up destroying that tree, which was a point on the ley lines.
So many extra pieces that'll
Yeah.
Too much information. No, let's keep it all pretty surface. I should do a better job. Surface level, and we can get into more interesting stuff in game and stuff.
Yeah. Eventually, the tree got destroyed by the rot. We ended up killing the imminent rot, but it's not gone. It still exists out in the world. We even have a crew member that is infected with the rot and is on the ship. Gray has been extremely susceptible to it, and it sucks.
But you got cured.
Yeah.
By a god.
Currently. Even spells like Beta Restoration would not knock it out. I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
Without getting too much character and.
And I just would add to that that Gray has his own sort of mission, which is to find the tree in Gray's circle was this immense tree, and it's one of the world trees. But there is the source of the rot is laying at the roots of the greatest tree, the world tree itself. So Gray wants to has the hope to find that and cure cleanse the rot at that site. Patient, can you sit down?
Which is out in the Bone Waste, which is where we're currently heading on our airship.
All better when she said.
Yeah, and another one, Quilla. Why don't you give us just at least the surface, the elevator pitch of Quilla's connection to another great evil affecting or facing the world.
Yeah, so there's something weird going on with a moon or something.
One of the
Seems
moons.
like one of the moons.
There's
Rude
one
is-
moon that
It's
is
an egg.
very like a Morse
It's like-
lead from like 40K, like a
Oh,
sort of it comes and goes at a very unpredictable pattern,
Yeah.
and often bodes an ill omen when it comes. And when it comes real close, like they say, that real bad things, like all sorts of folk tales and stuff, like when Ratha was last seen close in the sky,
Yeah.
great evil.
And so I've recently been made aware of something going on there, and basically my patron, who had given me some abilities and we'd kind of gone our separate ways, has recently sort of become a part of my life, a thorn in my side, and also kind of a boon, or a giver of boon. But yeah, so I went on had a weird experience in out at sea, and some of those details are still sort of murky, but there's something bad about Ratha, and might have to deal with that more immediately than I can't really just ignore my patron in that whole situation today, so it turns out.
So I read.
Jared,
Yeah.
are you up for telling us a little bit about your recent, your character's connection to the Imperium and personal vendetta in the Bone Wastes, and your recent, kind of like what you discovered in the Necronomicon place?
Yeah, Xerox was born in the slums around Kenton. She was kind of taken under the wing of Outlander tribes in the Free Cities area. She eventually made her way to the Imperium and found herself, and when these tribes were contracted by the Imperium to, during some crusades into the Bone Wastes, to attack the undead scourge. She served under the command of a General Harkill, and basically she left the employ of the Imperium when basically she figured out that this general was basically feeding the army to the undead to serve his own purposes. She and Nibbles,
Pretty
I
good
believe,
for that.
Yeah.
left the army at that point. That's where the adventure began. But she recently found in the adventures with the Necronomicon that this General Harkill has ascended the conflict I just referenced was the act of Harkill ascending to be one of the 4 or 5 necrarchs in the service of Orcus. And she had a very brief run-in with Harkill in this area when I don't know, was it Nibbles or was it
That was Beep.
no, that was Beep Boop. Just shut her in in a room with him, and
Statue of him. Or like
now Harkill knows we're on their trail, so to speak. Yeah. So she originally started out kind of crusading against the interests of the empire of the Imperium as they influenced the free cities. But now that vendetta has become somewhat more personal, as a captain she despised is now at the center of the goings on, the arcane goings on, the spiritual goings on of this adventure.
Hell yeah. Joel,
Me.
would you care to just share a little bit about your own character's connection to the past, unknown in a lot of ways, it may be, and also just introduce some of the other characters that have come along that the party has found. Thinking mostly of the artificial variety.
Okay. Yeah. So Beat Boot, otherwise known as 833P800P, is a Warforged that was found by my previous character who's still in game, who might still be with us for some reason.
He teleported away.
He did? Okay, I wasn't sure if he actually teleported away.
Yeah.
Was found and reanimated by Nibbles in the wastes surrounding Ilmater's Ascent, which is where neither here nor there. It's whatever. But they didn't know much about him, but they just brought him on as like someone to help the group while Nibbles went and figured out his own shit with his family. And it has been discovered that he is Peepoot might have more to his past than he knows about, as we find out more about as we find out more about what were they called?
Soulforged?
Yeah, about the Soulforged and their connection with greater evils and abominations. And then on our journey, we also found. While we were flying our shippy, we were attacked. While we were flying our shippy.
What's a shippy?
While we were flying our ship, named Shippy. Shippy McShipface. No, it's not. A ship fell from the sky and followed us and started not attacking us, but looking for abominations to murder, and that was Togatats, who ended up exploding into a lot of tiny pieces.
What's a Togatat?
Togatats is another Warforged that came from space and is sent on a mission to kill abomination.
7-0-6-4, 7-0-7-5.
That's the one. And so this creature came down, kind of crash landed, got destroyed, and we've slowly been putting him back together and discovering
destroying him.
And destroying him more because he had pieces of the hells attached to his body. Shadowfell, sorry. He had pieces of Shadowfell binding his body, his soul, into the robot, and we've put him back together to learn more about his past. And he still doesn't know a lot, and a lot of it is still redacted. But we're learning. Redacted. And he has some greater connection to everything around us. And I'm still really piecing a lot of it together.
I can tell you of the legend of
the Great Redacted.
The Night Redacted against the wolves. We actually uncovered some of this. I need to re-up these notes because you guys uncovered some more.
We did uncover some more recently. Outside of that, didn't we learn more? No. Oh yeah, that was when we were talking to the GIF. Okay. And that is Beep Boop. That's all I'm talking about right now, right?
And yeah, a little bit about Togetots and Shippy, if you don't mind.
Well, Togetots is
Does-
the creature who is now alive, who his main is like. Beep Boop is figuring out that he is also from the same past that Togetots is from, and Togetots is just here. He's not really my character, so I don't know a lot about him other than like his mission in life is to destroy abominations, and he's sticking with us for now because we
He's a
revived him.
Purge class Soul
He's a
Forge. What else is he
Purge
gonna
class
do?
Soul Forge. What were those? It wasn't the Soul Forge. It was the. There was some fancy name for those wizards back then.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
Arcanomancers.
Arcanomancers.
Is their fancy term for themselves.
Arcanomancers?
Yeah. They're a type of wizards, and they were the ones that bound his soul into the cold iron helix at his heart. And Beep Boop is constantly wondering if he has a cold iron helix in his heart, and he doesn't think he does. All he knows that's in there is a lighter that was put there by Nibbles.
Yeah, Togetots can tell you the legend of Dendar, the Knight Redacted against the Tide Redacted. So far.
Wait, what? Against what?
The Tide
Redacted.
Tide.
Yeah.
Servants of the Arcanomancer hegemony.
Tides were a
The
part of my name
Tide.
in the moons, so.
Unit was promised to serve. Anyways. And then Shippy is another piece to this little thing. It's a ship that we found to help.
We stole.
What?
We stole, kind of.
It was
Yeah,
a reward.
it was a reward. It was a flying vessel that we found to help us in our adventures that we stole from the Cragspire Mountains and had a run-in with some Gith that were trying to steal it as well. As we finally got Shippy, we realized it was sentient. It told us its name was Shippy, which stands for Self-Harmonizing Interplanar Pleasure Yacht. Shippy.
Shippy didn't know his name, like just knew that Shippy was his name for the longest time, but recently, like, or after a while, discovered more. It was like, I've learned what my name is.
It's slowly been discovering more about itself, and it was built. It has had a previous master who was also like, he recognized Togetots as kind, and more about like, he came from the same era as Togetots did as well. But a lot of his memories have been locked away, and we have been warned by the dwarves and others not to go digging into the past, but
Guess what we did.
but we don't believe in not digging into the past, so we dig into the past. And we're trying to, hello! And we're definitely trying to get Shippy to remember as much as possible.
Okay.
And that's what I got for you.
Cool. I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm kind of curious what he knows of the Big Help Gang.
Shippy?
What? No. What? John's character.
The Big
Johan.
Help thing has certainly gained a lot of notoriety. You'd probably be at least, at the very, very least, familiar with the name. Big shakers and movers up in the northern portion of the Free Cities, which is kind of, middle of nowhere. But it's becoming more. It's been in the news a lot recently. So to speak.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah.
All the visitors and stuff, and travelers and merchants and stuff are talking about all the stuff that's going on, and also, of course, talk about the work of the Big Help Gang and what's going on, and especially in the northern Free Cities, is always coupled with concerns about growing tensions between the Free Cities and the Imperium. It was only, I think, about like 150 years ago that there was a war, or a very short one. It involved the gnomes doing some pretty clever things, which ended up like destroying a huge amount of the Imperium's like Eastern army. So they just basically pushed them into signing a peace deal. And since then, it's been just like all the old cranks are like, it's only a matter of time before the Imperium comes back for more. But there's been largely peace from since then. Yes, Joel?
Was it true that Shippy helped take the great egg into the sky? Because I have that in my notes.
It is.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
The great egg is like a trapped.
Moon?
Well, it's a moon.
Ratha is the
Ratha
great
is
egg.
the great egg. Is a
Learn.
moon that has trapped a devil,
Yeah.
or the crawling evil. No, right?
The crawling darkness.
The crawling
first
darkness.
nightmare.
Yeah, which was
Lots of
like
names.
present after all the other deities left. It kind of started to be evil and take over, but they trapped it in a big egg and then shot it into the sky to get it the hell out of
mage
there.
answer.
Yeah.
The Arcanamancer was like, throw it in the moon and throw it into space. That's all it could.
Well, for a while
Kill the
it was floating over a fountain right above the earth,
No,
but
we
then
don't
they
know.
took it
We
into
don't
the
know
space.
about that.
Yeah, that's out of character. It's meta knowledge. The prequel one shot we did, or 3 shot.
Oh, God.
Which is still really worth
Really worth
Yeah,
listening
I
to.
recommend listening to it.
Yeah, so you would have heard about the big Help Gang's exploits. There's quite a bit's been going on that people would have heard about, and you would have heard also that some members of the big Help Gang were in Skopje recently, had just left maybe like a week or so before our adventures that we were just involved in, which you learned so much from. You leveled like 5 times or whatever.
It was a really intense experience.
Sometimes a lot of growth happens at once.
Yeah. Some serious growing pains at night.
So the big Help Gang was there recently. You would have heard probably as much as you want to know about their recent exploits in town. So they were doing some stuff that's
The undead assault on Ketten.
You would have found that the big Help Gang came around. They helped the local gnomes with their submersible vessel, and the gnomes are very excitedly working on this some new stuff. But right now they're curing and harvesting the remains of an utterly enormous monstrosity that the party helped them take home. But the parties, you would have heard that the big Help Gang had some dealings with a local vampire pirate lord before having that Skopje
A
scene.
buddy.
And other than that, you would have
Like
definitely heard of like city of Ketten was under siege by undead, and the big Help Gang destroyed them all.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems Ketten also has had a pretty rough run of luck recently, with previously a devilish incursion in the city that the big Help Gang dealt with. So they've been pretty busy. Hey! So you'd have definitely heard at least the highlights of what the big Help Gang's been up to.
And you would have seen a great beacon light up the sky and go everywhere starsy.
Yeah, so you probably have experience of 2 of their recent activities firsthand with the Necronomicon and the results of that. Big Help Gang released that into the world again. And the other was probably one day you saw a vast unfolding veil of silvery light that came from the earth and then into space.
With the silver light.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the temple. Wonderful.
Good.
You know, Tisha, you're about me. The food's ready when you want.
Then put it in.
Okay, thanks. It's been a long time since I've done the popcorn oven.
Let's start adding herb to the butter so that's
Sarah, Josh, and Josh, and Sarah.
Hi.
My sister.
Good to meet you.
Josh, good to meet you.
We've been filling him in on everything that
What?
We've been filling him in on everything Big Help Gang's been up to.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, well, I'll need to know too.
Chaos and bloodshed, tears. You haven't been keeping up with the podcast? Come on, Sarah.
Here's the thing. I felt so bad about missing that I didn't know. That just made it worse.
It's fine. That's reasonable. It makes sense.
I mean, I get that too.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I can't be part of this. Stupid work.
Stupid work.
Yeah.
We've also let Josh know kind of our storyline, what our kind of character goals are.
Okay. Okay.
I don't remember what Nazira.
Power.
Oh, Nazir's got lots of
She wants power.
She's.
Oh, your
Alright.
is loose.
What?
Oh yeah.
My evil twin.
Yeah.
That's why she left.
Okay. Mark never told me, so.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's why we were
It
told
might
you
have
left. I'm sure
something
you
to
can.
do with it.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Didn't a tiny creature come and show up and abscond with her?
She's like a fairy or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What the hell was that fairy's name?
So good to be here.
Oh, yeah, it's like
You too.
mid-December.
Oh, the bug ship.
So we were, I was thinking, Sarah's told everybody else, kind of thinking most of this session would be kind of like a re-session 0, just kind of recapping and reuniting our characters and stuff.
Sure.
And just catching everybody up to speed on all of the misadventures that have occurred.
Do you have a charger I can use?
Is it a,
USB-C.
yeah.
It's right there. I have one plugged into the wall right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a long one that I can share too.
Completely forgot to bring my usual charger and my extension cord.
Oh
No. So I figure we'll, maybe just, we'll talk a little bit here, then maybe break for food and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, we were bringing Josh up to speed on what's been going on. Josh, we just finished was it 3? Ended up being 3 or 4 sessions?
I think it was
5?
Yeah, it was 5.
5?
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain that was.
It was a 3-session game.
It was that chair, man.
That friggin' chair.
That chair.
It was an entire episode.
Gotta figure out what's going on with this chair.
Oh, that's so good.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and so we just wrapped that up. It took place just outside Skopje.
Okay.
And was a direct result of some other recent adventures of the Big Health Gang, or its portions of it, where some of the it was Beepoot, Gray, and Xerox, and I think Noose was there for a small portion of it.
Noose is always there.
My friend Ryan sometimes plays Noose. He was an NPC, has an animate rope that wears as a noose around his neck. And anytime he's not here, he's just hiding somewhere and doing his own thing. Dealing with some psychological trauma inflicted by the Whispered Litany, probably. But they found a real bad, evil thing, which was a person chained and bound in a deep place under a forgotten ruin.
Turned out to be a temple of Ilmater.
They decided that it was best to destroy it, as it was clearly bad. The burning engraved writing across this person's flesh.
Why?
Because we lost track of all the people who know how to take care of things.
Demonic language, ancient and demonic, with constantly changing. It turns out this was, the word, the spoken word, this last enchantment, basically, of Orcus left in the world, that guides people towards the will or the goals of Orcus.
Okay.
That had been bound
They
and
set it
confined
free.
in a single vessel where it could be contained.
See, she already gets it. She doesn't even have to.
The vessel was destroyed and now it's everywhere.
Perfect.
Bring us a scrap of it.
Yeah, they kept, I think Jared,
it had
I think
writing on
Xerox
it,
also
so.
kept a bit of a chain and a hook or something that was previously bound in this thing's flesh.
We got extra powers out of that, though.
I mean,
so...
worth it.
I know how to cast Mind Blank.
So
Oh, that's a
they
nice
were
spell.
visited
Yeah.
by a powerful being, and the being was like, why did you do this? Was judging their intent and will before basically taking the magic that had been binding the Necronomicon and instead transferring it into them as like boons. So all three of them gained a pretty powerful boon. That was especially helpful before we had a cleric and a smaller party. One of them makes Jared or Xerox virtually unkillable, so you're thinking of clever ways to kill Xerox from here on out.
Nice.
But yeah,
Bring it, let's go.
Beat Boop can now cast Mind Blank once per day. Xerox can cast Reincarnation once per day.
Wow.
And Gray can cast what it's like
Holy Aura.
Holy Aura once per day. Great boons of Lathander, and they also know that these great boons can also be burned and expended all at once in an hour of great boon, should they wish to blow through the whole power. But it would, not necessarily like a directed, like, I'm going to use this to cast the wish spell and like do some weird thing. It'd be more like, some necromantic energy is about to rip my soul from my body, sort of like, and now you get, so it'll be some scenario it could be used. Yeah, so Josh's character, a local hero in Scofia, was sent out after some undead doings and goings-on occurred.
Okay.
You want to tell, so we're still kind of like an out-of-character going to bring up, we'll be in more in-character with like at some point with you guys having a chance to talk and stuff in character, but like just for reference, when we get to that point, we don't have to go, okay, asterisk, 30 minutes of conversation and like lore stuff. We can have a bit of a shorthand, but you want to talk a little bit and share, I think, about what Johan has learned in their their endeavors.
The
so
little
far.
excursion right out of Scofia. Yeah, so Johan was in Scofia with his band, Empire of Anarchy. They kind of will tour the free cities. They're very heavy music. It's all about liberation and not needing, gods, and you are unto yourself, and
anti-authority.
Yeah, very anti-authority. There's kind of whispers and mumbles that this group is also kind of likes to really stick it to the Gwen Gould Imperium wherever possible. So really into stabilizing the Free City region so that they can help stand up on their own, and more importantly, not need to lean on the Imperium wherever possible.
Music of the revolution.
Yeah. So Johan and a group of fabulous adventurers was
Only the best.
contacted by the Wayfinders Guild to investigate a what appeared to be a reawakened temple. The Wayfinders Guild had dispatched a party of lower level adventurers and lost contact with them over a couple of days, and when they cropped back up, dead on the ground. So Johan and party were dispatched to find out what happened and try to stop whatever evil may have caused such misfortune. During their journey there, they encountered a slew of undead. There was a gimmick with prayer beads that turned them into mist, which was just a great mechanic. So zipped to the temple.
That spell was amazing.
That was so good.
When they got there, they encountered the now risen adventurer party who were serving what appeared to be a vessel for some undead unknown entity, and when they got to the temple, they found that it was actually an abandoned sanctuary that served the Sublime Radiance, whose goal was to basically connect the temple with the City of Light. Is that correct? Lumos. And but had for some reason been a goal of the undead to reawaken this temple activate teleportation circles so that one figure, his name was Cormac, could teleport to Lumos to bind the necrarchs to his will, again for kind of some unknown purpose. And that was and our party stopped the threat, dispatched the threat, and then from there, Mark, I'm not quite sure what happened with the party.
Yeah. So we'll get into that here before too long. So the last little bit of kind of I relied on each of everybody to recount some portion of the kind of setting, what's been going on that's relevant to their character. And part of that was Carly just recounting basically what she remembers last being here.
So long.
So I think you guys went on hiatus around the same time, so it probably was probably around the same stuff, because it was Nazir that teleported the party first to the Cragspire Mount or Cragstone Hearth for when the party split for a while. Was Nazir there for the adventures in Scofia, or did you?
Yes.
Okay.
We went out.
That's right, because so much happened with your character too there. That's right. So why don't you remind us about Nazira's? We're doing a very quick notes. Elevator pitch of background.
How long do you have?
Quick note.
Of Nazira's, unique, geographical background for one thing, but just your homeland being a unique place.
It is a unique place.
But more about, your. I think the most relevant thing would be for just your interactions with your just at least high notes of your interactions with what was her name? Your library host. I have that somewhere around here. Vitaria.
Okay.
And just again, just quick notes. And then because somewhat, and then also what happened when you were separated from the party, which was on the pirate ship, if you remember. Had a little encounter with an aspect of yourself, it seemed.
Yes.
And then I don't know if you were here for the last thing, which was one of your pixie or one of your friends from the Fey Wild popping in and
taking me. No, I was not.
Okay. Just go ahead and give just a quick
All right.
intro.
Nazira is not from the known lands. She comes from a secret empire in this area that has no name on the map right now.
Not right now. That's an old map. It hasn't been updated.
It's an elven empire.
And dwarven.
They have differing. The dwarves went to live in the hills and mountains.
Well, it's thought of them always being a united, they were all refugees from the Imperium.
I thought they came over together and then kind of divided, but maintain close relationship.
Yeah.
You probably do have some dwarves living in the
I always thought
kingdom,
the secret king was it the secret kingdom of the Second Awakening or something like
the
that.
Hidden Kingdom of the Second Flowering.
Second Flowering, yeah, that's the full name. I always thought that as the main nation that formed with the elves and dwarves that lived in this little peninsula, and then also the refugees.
Okay.
They've definitely separated, and there's that's probably the main tension in their society is hey, these people that traditionally lived separate and stuff. They have a few mixed cities and stuff, but there's cultural differences and stuff there but they're all the people that live behind that enormous gate. And they all are basically united by the threat of the Imperium.
Sure. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Let me take some notes.
The Hidden Kingdom, the second.
Flowering.
Second flowering.
Yes.
Well, we visited your father
It
there,
is a
correct?
kingdom.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and he was an emissary to the dwarves.
So wait, we've been there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Nichols did.
You got really
Okay,
really fancy textiles.
I thought that was the Fey rum for some reason.
No, it was from the Fae, but he had it and gave it to you.
That's what Nibbles' cloak is made out of.
Oh. What happened to Beep?
Or not Beep Boop's cloak,
Okay.
sorry. That's what I meant.
I thought bad things happen in the
No.
Well,
I mean, well, yes, but no.
We almost died, you know.
Okay.
Oh, man, so you haven't been on
Okay.
the ship at all, right? The flying airship?
No, we have.
Oh, you have briefly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I
'Cause
was
the
like,
ship came back
I was
to-
like, Beep Boop, be careful about the secret knowledge that you're having Shippy uncover because we don't know what's out there.
Second you left, let me tell you, Beep Boop was straight back at it.
Alright. I figured that would be the case.
The Zero did her best to give warning.
You
And then
tried.
Cool left, Zero left. Well.
Yep.
Shit, that's so
Exactly. And we found Beep Boop's companion in the ship that came down. Togatox, that's right. Anyway, Nazira is an elf, joined up with the Big Help Gang in a previous campaign, meeting Gray with some alternative characters called the Little Help Gang in Valkreath. And at the end of that, went and spent some time in the Feywild, and then came back and met up with Gray again, and joined up with Big Help Gang. And most recently, they have gone to Scofia to meet with the pirate vampire. At which point, while they were there, she attempted some magic shenanigans. And I don't remember exactly what the impetus was, but it was real hard.
Oh, the not the Necronomicon, but the Panopticon.
Yeah,
Atlas.
yeah, they were trying to unlock the Panopticon.
A
And
new word that you may or may not have heard yet.
Yeah.
It's our Google Maps.
Okay.
It basically is a map of all the ley lines.
yeah,
Yeah.
it talks to the satellite.
Potentially
in the sky.
helpful for teleportation.
Yeah.
Leftover tech from way back.
Yeah. Elves are constantly reincarnated, and often they have memories of their previous lives during their meditation. She was a little unusual in that she would actually interact with one of her previous selves in this like interior state that she went into, and
Originally didn't experience anything at all.
originally didn't experience anything at all.
Yeah.
And then when she tried this magic shenanigans on the boat, she was like kicked out of her body, kind of.
You were fighting for
I
control
was
of it
fighting
for
for
sure.
control of it.
Yeah.
That picture reenacts it fairly well.
It really does. It's a great picture.
Yeah, that is a great picture. And there was an evil, disfigured sort of almost twin figure that came out of her that she was fighting for control with. And ultimately that figure managed to get away, but with less power than it had before. Well, it stole her power, basically. But she held on to her memories of her past lives, so that's the important part. And then we were going.
Yeah, there were like three things basically you were wrestling for control of. Possession of your body, which you got first. That was your first success. And then you had to basically pick your priorities between access to the memories of your previous life, or the library of memories that you have. And the second was some connection to some like ancient or divine abilities that you had, some power. You lost that, but you were able to kind of keep your memories and your body, which was good.
Tough life choices.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we got the airship, reunited with our group, right? And then we went and fought the
Eminent Rot.
eminent rot
Oh,
in the
circle,
forest,
yeah.
and then Togatots bombed the region, right? Or was that just me thinking?
Togatots just arrived.
No,
It was like,
he crash landed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he crash landed right before we got there.
He was gonna help us, I think.
Yeah.
That's what he
trying.
said.
He was trying.
All of his
Abominations
tech
were detected.
was, degraded.
I remember
because it
being
had been
distracted during that whole
millennia,
fight.
I guess.
Ancient and ruined.
Yeah. And I think that's like the last thing.
Yeah, okay. So after that, yeah, you guys basically flew back to Kenton and Ball Creek to just kind of like touch base and resupply and stuff. The party went.
Nazira was interested in getting a share to the mine because she's found out that out here in the wild world, spells are really expensive and hard to come by.
The socialist magic economy of the Secret Kingdom. So not only have, another interesting update to they went back to Ball Creek and Kenton, received like heroes, laid in all the supplies you guys needed for a long unknown journey to an unknown destination. Flew east to the Bellstone mines, where you laid in more supplies, mostly Bellstone, like some like absurd amount of the note in front of you.
Oh, I have it written down.
60,000 gold worth
Nazira
or something like
so
100,000 gold worth or something.
But then we discovered that we can do a lot with it.
They spent like 50 or 60,000 already.
To upgrade Shippy.
Yeah.
It's
Feeding
worth it.
It's worth it.
I mean, but spells, guys.
Oh, I miss the zero so much.
She knows what's important.
They also have discovered that Bellstone can be used as a stand-in for many spell components. There are specific things like Gray found with his spell, still like his magic, like it was the Holy Aura one, still needs like a holy parchment or something. Like there's some that still require a specific thing because of the nature of the magic, but things like diamonds, throw a Bellstone at it.
Incense and other things.
Yep.
Legend lore.
Yeah.
All day long.
So you guys have
We only have so much.
Yeah, I'll let you guys, at some point, that'll become significant. But right now, just know that you've spent a lot. Still have a lot.
Force Cage is on the table.
The upgrades that they've given to Shippy, they went to the Bellstone mines.
We have 584 pounds left.
Oh no!
They went down there.
584 pounds.
Okay.
That can't be right. Never mind. Neither here nor there.
They went down into the mines and found an otherworldly creature attached by its mouth as its body was like decaying through like this atrophy, but still incredibly powerful and large. It was like instead of like being like muscular and bony and defined, it was becoming incredibly muscular and pseudopody and tentacly. But it was like hanging there at the bottom of what amounted to be like this immense like Bellstone sphere that had like this like weird like sort of impossible geometry of like shapes like stacking in on themselves like impossibly and infinitely, it seemed like. This thing had been like trying to chew its way in there, but it hadn't been able to. But it was still drawn to whatever power it was there, it seemed. The party, this time with hopefully
foreskin rules.
The party still acting with little assurance that they were doing the right thing, just like with the Necronomicon, decided to drop that thing down into the center of the earth. It was magically positioned above, like in like a basically.
It wanted to fall.
Unending hole. They also found that the shaft was rifled, meaning like had like grooves like was spiraling around it.
Yeah,
so
to
they
shoot it
eventually.
up.
It was at the top.
Yeah.
It was at the top.
Yeah, it was at the
Well,
top.
because it had to be shot up to the top.
to that place. Yeah.
And there was
And that was done very deliberately.
there was a big guy hanging up the bottom.
Oh, so clearly.
So it had to go down.
Yeah.
They dropped that sucker down the hole. They tried to follow it to see what it would do, like flying down there, and it was falling for like 15, 20 minutes before they were like, we need to fly back up. That will take some time. So they didn't go to all the depth, but there was no end seemingly to the hole. But sometime later, a sight that all of your characters saw, no matter where in the world you were, was this great silvery luminescent light that was unfolding itself into an infinitely expansive sphere or polygon shape beyond. It was expanding itself first up through the floor, then out into space in this insane rapidity.
Oh, good.
It was
and
good.
that definitely drew some attention because it was not long after they left the Bellstone mines that they saw 3 shapes burning down from the heavens.
Yeah. That's not what Nizero was saying.
You actually saw the light and messaged us.
Yeah.
You messaged them. You were
Okay.
like, "Hey, did you guys do that?" And they were attacked by
God.
2
happens when you
strange
leave.
nautiloid vessels, but were aided by a 3rd vessel, all insectoid angles and blades on the ship, it seemed.
Okay.
They
What did those first vessels look like?
nautiloids. They defeated the nautiloid vessels.
Yes, my player.
Definitely, yeah, they mind flayers.
I've been waiting for this.
So yeah, it was a fight. It was a fight in the air from their airship fighting 2 mind flayer vessels, and then as that was going on, the 3rd vessel, a Gith Yankee ship arrived, aiding them against the mind flayers. But then they had a very long conversation after that, where they were like, "Hey, why do you have our property?" Referring to the silver sword in Beethoof's possession. Eventually,
Man,
they
why
came
is
to
it
some
never
terms.
Gitzerai?
They met one Gitzerai.
Okay.
He was a friendly enchanter back in Ketten.
Elliot.
Or Valkyrie.
Yeah.
He's great.
Has orange hair?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
the Gith Yankee and them came to some accord. And they learned
We
from
did
them
good.
and confirmed some more information relevant to Quilla, definitely.
What did they learn?
We learned. What did we learn? I took notes. They came from space. They have great anxiety about mind flayers.
Yep. Checks out.
This guy was the Zealothus?
Captain Zoe?
Zealothus? That one. He was happy that we dropped the ball. The wandering moon is not of this world, referring to Ratha. They were telling us about the world has some protection around it that has been cracking. And when we dropped the ball, it was helping put that back together.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Good.
reinforce that shield protecting
That's good.
the solar system.
The moon broke it as it left Earth. The evil has no name because it hasn't taken one.
We must bind the moon.
Our ancestors bound ancient evil in the moon, not knowing it was an egg, and then they brought the egg into the skull. What? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've learned
The
that-
deep mind as something else.
Bad.
Oh man, yeah. So to tie those
Bad,
things
bad,
up,
bad.
they learned that the Arcanomancer's Gemini,
Okay.
the great sorcerer kings and powers
The
from back
people
in the
who
day.
enslaved Togatos.
Yep. Correct.
They
And may have made Beep Boop as well.
I mean, I kind of figured, yeah.
Answers, Jen.
But thank you. Did you ever get any of your memories back, or still not?
fuzzy.
Okay.
One of their great accomplishments, which we learned a little bit about in our prequel we ran, a game taking place in before the collapse.
Mhm.
Oh,
Which
man.
I do recommend you
online.
listen to.
It's a great one.
Oh, I miss all the good stuff.
Learned that these ancient sorcerer kings were like, hey, like this ancient primeval monster is still here, just and all the gods failed to have bound it or destroy it while now they're gone. We can't kill the thing, but we can bind it and send it away. They looked out into the universe beyond their world, found a rogue moon asteroid thing, astral body. We're like, that'll do. Went out there,
Hello, Rabbit.
found a shield that would block that moon from coming into the system. They were like, well, let's put a hole in it. So they did, and then they brought the moon through. They stuffed this ancient primeval into it, and we're gonna send it away. It never got fully sent away, and is now still occasionally, coming close, and it's still in an unpredictable relationship orbit, perhaps, of the world.
Shippy helped take it out.
Nice.
Presumably
That's
has
cool.
some ancient evil still in it,
And they said it was an egg?
It's hibernating.
Yes.
It's ready to
The
hatch.
Gith Yankee said it was not a moon, it was an egg.
That's
That this was a part of the machinations of the deep mind.
and he knows about us, and he's coming for us.
Deep mind knows. The Gith Yankee are hunting for the deep mind. They don't know. They know it's like in the basically like in the solar system. But they don't know where. So they're like in space, like looking for this thing. They've been like this has been their job for a while. They have agreed to allow you to keep the silver sword so long as you continue using it to thwart the plans of the deep mind. And should they discover the deep mind's location, will return to solicit your aid in that fight.
Interesting.
They don't. Yeah, it's where it is. Yeah, the Rotha is an egg that has something bad in it. The deep mind was like, excellent. We'll grow something bad in this, and then we'll use this to destroy our enemies.
And it has something even worse in it, right? Was it an egg before it became
It was an
imbued
egg.
with the...
It was an egg without content, without a yolk. And then they provided the life needed, and the shell of the moon will foster its growth.
Crack open and like some dark evil from the far beyond or whatever it's called will hatch out.
This one's not on the big help.
It's a girl!
This is one of the few things we didn't do.
We didn't do that shit.
That problem predates the big help game.
Yay!
And I think that's most of it. They left there. They had that fight when they left. Oh, the group is now a bunch of rescued.
Oh yeah.
Former enslaved people aboard they rescued some of the people that were aboard the non-alloyed vessels.
Okay, good.
They don't know what's going on. They don't know much.
They're just there.
They don't know what a baby is.
We also hired some people
Yeah, good.
from Valkyrie.
Okay.
So we have what's his face's daughter.
Bastard.
Eric Bastard, the ranger, the famed ranger of Valkyrie, was the most unintentional, what do we call it? Unintentional competitive something like
Grudge.
Grudge, yeah. Rivalry. That's I've ever participated in. All I described was a character that would be useful in the mission to get them from point A to point B. Described him as a ranger, and suddenly Gray is like, "This is my enemy."
Gray is also like a forest ranger.
Yeah.
You know, they hired someone.
They
Like,
local knowledge. All it was just for local knowledge. That was the only service that they were providing.
I mean, all
Deeply
knowledge is
offended.
local.
He's carried this grudge this entire time. Although he's kind of coming around a little bit.
No, yeah.
We did kill her for a moment, so you
Yeah,
know.
it happens.
Yeah.
She got better.
We tried to teach her to fly Shippy.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can't do that if you don't know how to cast magic.
If you can't cast spells, you can't fly Shippy. They
Makes
learned
sense,
that,
yeah.
and their brains exploded.
We also have 2 drakes on board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last session,
Okay.
they were flying east, like through the Cragspire Mountains into the runways.
And we saw
they
that.
found a big
Bunch
old
of birds with
swarm
2
of
drakes
birds
inside of
being
there.
hunted by drakes.
Okay.
They captured some of the drakes, found them interesting after...
One had a cold iron thingy in
Was
his
it one or
head.
2 that they captured? Was
We
one?
captured 2.
2.
One had a thing in the mouth, one did not.
One had a wound in its like upper palate. The other had a chunk of cold iron surgically implanted in it.
Really? Is this cold iron look similar to a certain chain?
Yeah, I mean not identical, but it's like
Okay.
same material. It's definitely like cold
Same
iron.
material.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't
It was
look
also
like it's
inside
like-
Togetot.
So,
And if you want to
Shadowfell.
control people, use cold iron. You could learn.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
So the ship is now literally full of birds that were trying to escape the drakes. There are 2 drakes on the
Wait,
ship.
you have the drakes and the
Yep.
runaway birds?
We gotta feed the drakes somehow.
Ellipses is still on board also.
I was about to ask. what
Got
happened to
ellipses.
Mm.
had a-
Quarantined.
Was around because he saved Nibbles.
Yeah, saved Nibbles' life after
Really?
Nibbles blew up Togepotz's heart. Some misadventures occurred.
We had to get rid of the cold iron inside of Togetot, so we blew it up.
And killed him, right?
Well, almost
Togetot?
killed.
Repaired and resurrected.
Yeah.
We resurrected him.
Okay, good. Okay.
He's alive.
What spell was it? Demolish? What was the spell they used to?
Oh, disintegrate.
Disintegrate. Yeah. Turns
Yeah.
out, don't do that.
You learn new things every day.
That was so
Probably.
funny.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah, so we got a ship full of birds and drakes. Have about like 10, I think, rescued refugees from the Nautiloid vessel.
Okay.
I think 9, but yeah.
9. 5 hirelings. I think 2 or 3 of them have been named.
2.
One of them is Ellis Bessard,
Mm-hmm.
daughter of the famed Ranger of Falkreath. Also a fine operator of the ballista.
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Have we given the survivors of the Nautilus a health checkup?
Basic, at least.
I made sure they weren't
They're not
evil.
bleeding. Yeah, they've at least they inspected them and found that like these ones did not have any like signs of like physical damage or abuse or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
So that was enough for the party.
No brain parasites lurking
I
in
mean,
there?
we wouldn't know to look for
No,
that.
they checked
No
for
one.
brain
We-
Tomothy.
Ray definitely would not know about brain parasites. Well, he probably would.
Brain bug?
Yeah.
Can I have brain bug?
He definitely get up in that brain
let's just take a break and we'll get underway.
We're currently after Zephyr, which is a
Oh, yeah.
moving source out
Oh,
in the bone waste.
The current mission that they were on was Shippy, as part of the upgrade Shippy's received, can now sense some of these exotic materials,
Mm-hmm.
and could sense a high density deposit on the move in the bone waste.
Okay.
These are
so
the
they
things
are
that-
traveling towards it to try and find some Zephyr, which Shippy needs to fly. Needs
Healing
Bellstone to just get the
workshop,
power on, but
arcade.
Shippy needs Zephyr, like this, like an element tied to the plane of air, to actually fly. So they're after some fuel. And then after that, they were planning on continuing on to the city of Loomis.
Or the tree.
Yeah.
Or the
Or
tree.
the tree.
No.
If they could find it. You don't know where the tree
Does
is.
Gray
I
still
think.
have his infection going on every day?
He's currently cured.
Okay.
He got cured by the halfling god, is that correct? Where we also received a boon. Yeah.
Hearing a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But it's like a
Yeah.
temporary cure, right?
Wah,
Or like
wah.
a
I mean, it's
partial cure.
he's cured right now, but he could get reinfected. So
That's
definitely having ellipses on board is not is what Nazir was definitely highly against.
What?
But Nazir was definitely against having ellipses stay on board.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Uh,
Has it spread anywhere else?
as far as we know, no.
Did she cure ellipses too, or just Gray?
No, couldn't.
Oh,
She took away the pain.
Yeah.
She couldn't cure it.
Yeah.
How is he doing? Is he like
Sad.
mushroomy
Yeah.
again? Well, I know his mental health.
Oh, yeah.
He
Eeyore, but
still needs, therapist. But,
A therapist and a cure. For
Yeah.
the
but he's not actively spreading it right now.
as far as we know, no one's gotten infected from it.
That fungal thing is like it's such a scary one.
Yeah, it's real bad.
We should send it after the mind flayers.
We also, when we,
Did you feed that human rot to the ship?
I don't know if we did that.
No.
I don't know if we did or
That would have made sense. But we didn't.
Oh, but that could go real bad though.
I thought that.
Yeah, that seems
I mean, a lot of things can go really bad. I mean,
When you guys left, we kind of went off the rails.
I thought it was
There
because
are no rules.
I literally think that destroying that dude in the cave was like the first thing we did after you left, and I thought it was hilarious. I was like, all of a sudden the smart people are gone, and we're like, fucking just hit it with a hammer. We're tired of talking to this thing.
Oh man.
And there was like almost every session, like, I wish Nazir was here. I bet she's got a badass spell for this.
I bet you Nazira knows this language. Oh yeah, there were like, so when we got there were like these stairs.
Can know anyway.
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
There were stairs that were trying to tell us to do something, and we were like, nobody speaks this language.
Oh, no.
Set it on fire.
That was the funniest like puzzle I've ever put in a game. Like basically none of them could translate it, and they found this like armor set that's kind of like splayed out on these like steps of that led up to this fountain with like this brilliant sun and stuff behind it. It basically said like prostrate yourself before blah blah blah. So all they had to do was like lay or like kneel or like lay themselves, like show some like genuflection towards the altar. But no, they fought the animate suits of armor.
I have one of them.
Do you?
Yep, I kept it. I should probably figure out what that does. I also have a copy of the Necronomicon as recalled by Beep Boop.
Okay.
I rolled an 18
Oh, nice.
to get it,
Yeah.
so it's not the best copy,
I mean,
according to Mark.
but it's a decent one, right? It's
Mhm.
you could maybe summon some skeletons.
Who knows? I
Turn
plan.
yourself,
I'm
accidentally turn
saving it
yourself
for
in-
when Nazira eventually shows up. Some wizard
Yeah.
somewhere will know something to do with this.
accidentally turn
Hurry
yourself
back,
into a
Cla.
servant of Orcus.
Oh, what a good girl.
Gotta go for her. A good girl.
What spells do I have?
Oh my god. So
Not enough, is what I'm hearing.
When you figure it out, let me know, because I need to try to have a good opportunity to make sure I'm not
Feel free to look at my
triple
character
doing.
if you want to. and
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
you know,
look
like,
at mine
yeah.
and just
Look at all the characters.
He's like, hey, Pasha.
Hey,
He's very like lightning centric, so
okay.
but I'm in the upper levels of Bard now, so there's some
Overlap.
There's some, yeah, there's like Force Cage for sure. Someone else is.
I mean, everyone should
Mark
be
loves
rolling.
Force
Everyone,
Cage.
everyone should be
Good
taking
stuff.
Force Cage.
It
Polymorph
summoned all the
has
bugs in
worked
it.
out so well in that one shot. Polymorph was a blast.
Clutch.
Nice.
We got
Always the best.
what did we get? We got a rat with one, which was great, and then a killer whale with another. Because it was this big zombie worm that had eaten one of the main antagonists in the one shot, and it was like kind of a Shalachalud kind of situation. So it burrowed underneath the ground and was gonna pop back up with the guy and barf him out, where he's gonna activate this teleportation circle. And then killer whale, so he was just like turned into this real Jonah situation. It was great.
As a DM, it's one of those situations where your player's like, so when you cast polymorph on someone, are the contents of their stomach or like things that are like, what are you trying to do here? So we ruled the creature had to be large enough to like hold him inside it naturally. So killer whale.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was great.
That was fantastic.
It was, that was their last, that like pretty much ended the encounter.
Can you see my spells if you open my character sheet?
Yeah, maybe like heal, dispel stuff, damage, and like area of effect.
0. I think yes. I
Okay.
can.
Cool.
Gray's also very bug-based.
Bug-based?
Yeah.
It's Swarm, out of curiosity?
Yeah, Swarm Keeper.
Nice.
Yeah, Ranger.
What happened to my clone spell?
And Moon Druid.
Okay.
Very awesome.
Okay, great. So I don't have to do that. It's good. Cool. I have to do like 2 things potentially. That would be amazing.
And there's no problem
It's
with
just not
overlap,
prepared.
you know.
No,
Don't feel
yeah,
like
no.
Because someone else has a spell, you can't take it also.
There's that I think I will keep. Like Force Cage is really too good to pass up. But if someone's already got teleport,
I have teleport.
I don't need to worry.
Thank
about
God.
I have teleport and plane shift.
It. Yeah. Cool.
I have legend lore. I have contact other plane.
I think what that means is that I can probably okay, so I am going to.
Okay, so if the component for Force Cage is a ruby dust worth 1,500 gold points, would that be what is that? 150.
15 pounds.
15 pounds.
15.
15 pounds of.
It's 15
That's a
pounds
lot.
of glowstone.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
It's
it's
a lot of
refined
points.
bellstone, so it's slightly less heavy.
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
be a good size
I guess
football.
15 isn't that bad. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then also, it's like, what, 500 to get a upgrade to the ship, the shippy.
I think it's 100.
Is it 100? I can't remember.
Is it 100 pounds, Mark?
Is it what?
100 pounds to
it was
upgrade
like
Chippy.
Most of them I think were like 20 or 25,000 gold pieces worth.
Oh.
So I think maybe like 250 pounds of bellstone.
Nom, nom, nom.
We were killing these creatures that were dropping down from the ceiling. And Gray decided to disguise himself as one and had Nibbles help sew together a little kit. And I just found a little drawing. He's walking around in a cave, so he has a torch out. It's a little
That's adorable.
Yeah.
With his bugs around him.
I just saw that drawing. I'm like, oh man, that's great.
I love looking through my notebooks at the drawings and being like, what was happening here?
So cute.
It's very like Final Fantasy. So I love that.
It really is.
Yeah.
That was a fun mission.
Yeah.
Mark's words evoke some very good pictures. This one was fun. This was Xerox breaking down the door of the right above the crystal that we dumped into the sky.
Ah.
And Gray was a air elemental the whole entire time. And it was great. It was flapping around everywhere, in and out of cracks.
Gray's been a fire elemental, an air elemental. I don't think I've made.
I think that's it.
Pretty happy about his time.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man. You were a fire elemental when we went and did in the other Ilmater temple.
Which was pretty
You
awesome.
could probably become an earth elemental because you've met Zorn.
And fire and air also.
But can you turn into heart?
Unfortunately not.
It's the one that eludes him.
Gray can't make things love him.
Where did we go where you brought back bugs?
Everywhere?
I mean, everywhere. There was he was like...
In the mine, I got a centipede, which has made an appearance again recently, eating a bird.
He got grave bugs from,
Ilmater's temple.
Yeah,
That's
those aren't there anymore.
Those?
They've made
I'm not
those.
surprised. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, they come and go.
Yeah. Sometimes they eat each other.
Yeah, I mean, they do.
And
I don't
the
think-
last one kills itself.
Yeah.
That's Gray eats them.
Yeah. Gray doesn't eat meals. He just feeds his bugs and then eats up the bugs.
So we have a few pieces here. Nazira, you were last with the party, but were taken away
Whisked away.
as a small pixie friend of yours showed up, looking very scared of you, terrified really. And when you investigated, they said they hoped you didn't kill them again. Learning more what you could from them through detect thoughts and traditional means. It seems that you or someone looking very much like you
Like I have a very unhealthy version of me.
had awoken inside your clone body.
Oh, what? Really? Oh.
That's why you don't keep clones of yourself.
Well, at least they're lower level.
They had killed one of your pixie friends and seemingly left, but not without leaving their own eye and some ruined flesh attached to it.
Interesting.
Enough that your clone was able to regrow. Because the clone does take some of your own. Isn't that the component for the clone spell?
An inch of your flesh.
Yeah. This eyeball served as enough material to replace what was taken from you.
Interesting, okay. Huh.
So you spent a little time in the Feywild, tending to your growing clan.
Cursing and saying, I knew I should have cast sequester.
You expend your investigatory and magical effort to ensure that this new clone body is not corrupted or affected by any curse or lingering magical effect. This is, as far as you can tell, truly the case. But even so, not resting until at least you have the confirmation of the changing king, who has heard of the recent plight.
Mishap?
Yes, and provides his seal of approval as well.
Okay.
Your clone has been replaced, but has been used once. Someone out there has a copy of your body and is running around in it.
Cool.
This period has been accompanied by a deep sense of loneliness that you have felt as you've kept access to this, your collection of memories of yourself, of your past lives, but there's no one there preparing tea for you anymore. And the place takes on a less comfortable and more sterile sort of space until, of course, it is yours now, truly. And you'd already learned how to shape it in some ways before, thanks to Vitaria. But now it's yours, and it is yours to make with what you will. And you spend time learning this new control and power over your own magical menagerie of memories, which have still taken the place or taken the form of in this place, I think we left off with a sort of conservatory, this kind of like warm place that reminded you a bit of home. Dappled sunlight and just this kind of warm, humid heat.
Greenhouse.
But its form and the form of the room and the memories themselves is yours to deal with and form as to your preference. But being there alone, not having the comforting voice of that kindly old woman is lonely. And I'm sure you can't help but notice the coincidental or the timing of Vitaria's departure.
Absolutely.
Your business in the Feywild is seen to, and with the changing king's help, only a reasonable amount of time passes as you transit the realms. Willa,
Yeah.
what have you been up to? You were heading back west, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go pay a visit to her family and try to do some work on just like the teleportation circles in the cities, making connections there, and trying to get her family on board with being a little more supportive of commerce and not necessarily in just their own self-profiting ways.
Yeah. With the family, business has been booming, and in some significant part thanks to your efforts, new trade has been opening up all across the three cities. Your plan to have get help finance and get the teleportation circles installed around the 3 cities is met with a little credulity at first, but largely great reception. People think this is a fantastic idea, that if we have access to the type of people that can make that happen, the significant investment will pay for itself in no time at all, they're sure.
Bull is definitely advocating for using trade or the commerce of trade to subsidize access between the cities for those who might need to get from one place to another. To basically she wants a policy where anytime things are getting shipped that people can go with it. Anytime it's opened, basically whoever can get through is welcome to go. Or something to that effect.
The details of those sorts of things, that the policy things, your family, your father says it sounds wonderful. Any extra space, of course. And your friend Nazir could help with this.
Nazir is pretty busy, but I'm sure she's willing to help with some of the initial coordination. But we need to find a dedicated team of wizards to operate circles. So we need to establish somebody in each city who could be responsible for making sure they go through, or to be responsible.
He says, of course, you'll be, I suppose, you'll be leaving us again soon.
Before too long. Yeah. We have much work to do.
Find someone to make this work. He goes off and is excited and is coordinating the efforts to handle all of the influx of new business and stuff that's been happening in this new project. As you are preparing yourself, we'll say that you two have been in connection and are planning to teleport back to the group together. As that planned meeting is approaching, the last bit of time you have in Ponsa, we got there. The last bit of time you spend in Ponsa. Why don't you, it seems like things are moving at pace. Everybody is busy in your family. Everybody's, there's constant meetings that you're being invited to and a part of. You've been doing a bunch of debriefings on all of your adventures and things, and all the connections you've made and stuff. Go ahead and give me an insight check first.
Insight. So insightful. Actually, I'm pretty insightful. 24.
24. That was very insightful.
So insightful.
Well, knows what's going on.
That makes like one of us.
You are being kept very busy. You may not have, you're not like the person in your family that, does the numbers. You're not like the bookkeeper per se. It's not a deficiency you have, but it's not your forte. So it's not like the details necessarily that alert you to what's happening here, but you realize that you are being sidelined in some way. Not directly, but quietly, keeping you busy and preoccupied. There are meetings and conversations happening, few that you've perhaps interrupted at times, and they haven't very eloquently, or they have not well disguised their sudden interruption at your arrival and their changing of the subject to something else. This is most noteworthy when you hear, overhear your father. I couldn't find your character, all of your character notes. I don't have all your family names here in front of me. But your father is there speaking with your brother. And as you're coming around into this office space, you hear them speaking, and this sense of being excluded from things is enough to make you approach quietly and hear what you might before they're aware of your presence. And the little bit that you do catch is your brother saying, she's not going to like this day. If she finds out, she's not going to go along with this. Like, Farstarters be damned. Like, they may have a nose for money, but they're wrong on this, and Quill is right.
Quill will walk into that conversation. And right about what?
Ah, my dear. Always right. Right about everything, my love.
Sorry.
Well, I know, but on this occasion, the Longstriders, sounds like you like what they're about. Doesn't sound like you always think I'm right.
You didn't tell us everything. You didn't tell us that your friends and you accosted Vance in Scofia, made him fear for his life. That is not good for business, nor is it good for your family's reputation, which I would hope you would think about a little bit more frequently in the future, especially as you leave us again.
Our reputation seems fine. Our business is booming. And we don't... What do you care about those who uphold the reputation of Vance and those scoundrels? They're dealing with the Imperium. They're gonna...
Who do you think paid for your education? Who do you think paid for everything you have had? The Imperium made the free cities safe.
They're gonna bring it to its knees if we deal with them now. Is that news to me that my family, like what he's saying about like my education being paid for with like Imperium money, basically?
It's not something they've flaunted or told you before.
Sure.
You know that your family, like all businesses, has had dealings with the Imperium. The Imperium has a huge economic influence over the region. You know that you've not been like the most involved with them per se.
I think historically my family's like kind of avoided the Imperium generally, but at least my knowledge of it.
Yeah.
We need to deal. Look, I'm headed out into the Bone Waste. We can deal more. We can build trade away from the Imperium. Don't get caught up in their snares.
Whatever you're doing out
Vance
there.
and the Longstriders they're worthless. They're tied to the Imperium.
You will all be tied to the Imperium. There are rumors. There are rumors that the Imperium their eye is upon the free cities again.
I don't doubt it. They've got spies everywhere.
And I have to be realistic. I have responsibilities to our family that I will not shirk.
But look how much we can do without it. We don't need the Imperium. In fact,
Where do you think we're going to find wizards capable of creating an arcane teleportation circle or maintaining it?
sure as hell not from the Imperium.
Damn.
Then this project is nothing.
I will
It's a
find
dream.
them. I will find us wizards.
The Imperium already knows that we are moving in this direction.
And why did they know
As
that?
the days go by, it will become more and more difficult to tell them no. Whatever you and your friends are doing out there, make it quick and come back to us. Your family needs you.
Look at the boys. No, look at my brother. You guys are building this well. I am helping build our family's business out to the east.
Your brother says, Dad, you're being unfair. Half of the new business we've gotten are from leads Quilla's brought in. And we may not have the answer now, but at least give her some time before you fucking deal with these snakes.
What do they want? I look at my brother.
He looks at his dad angrily. They want their wizards to at least review or modify the teleportation circles so that they can access them from the
No.
Imperium.
Not at all. Not allowed.
That's what I said.
Absolutely not. We're not a gateway to the Imperium. And more importantly, this is not a gateway for the Imperium to come to us.
Dad says, Farstriders know
And don't let
as
the
well
fucking
about this
Farstriders
project.
anywhere near them.
If we don't, the Imperium is ready to finance this and provide the technical assistance needed.
No.
If we tell them
wizards.
no, the Farstriders can still say yes. And then it will be totally out of our hands.
We don't need the Farstriders.
Well, if you are able to convince all the merchants and rulers of the free cities to go along with that tomorrow, next week, what's your plan, Quilla?
I just need a little
I
time,
can't
but I will get
stop
them.
them
I
from
will-
making deals with other people. We have a chance to go
We've
along
got
with
the
this or be
connections.
left behind.
This is our fucking idea. We've got this.
The idea is out there now.
Wow.
And the Imperium has
We're building it.
seen that it's
No, I do. Yeah.
that people want it, that they can sell this.
Well, it's a good thing we can do it in a way where it's not always just about selling it. We can do this. It's for the free cities, not for the Imperium.
I won't. All right.
Give me a
I'll
little
continue
time.
the project, and I will delay the Imperium as long as I can and give you time.
Thank you.
But sooner or later, they're going to make a deal with someone else.
We'll deal with that.
I've heard they've already made great inroads in Nordura, and at this point, it feels like the smart business decision, the only smart business decision, is quickly becoming the obvious one. The one I know
To tell the
that
Imperium
you
to go to
don't
hell.
want to do, and I hope that you know that I don't want either. The Imperium is making it so there are no other choices.
And why would we want to side with somebody who's just going to strong arm us
It's
into
not
submission?
about that. Like,
It always is.
no, I'm telling you, this is going to happen sooner or later.
Doesn't have to.
It's a market force, not a choice that we are making.
Capitalism, damn it.
As he starts to try to like explain that stuff, Cole's just gonna say, "I've got business cards to pass out." Turns around and leaves.
Oh God.
Your brother gives a little snort and like smiles. So, takes you to the side, like, I know you've got important things to do. I'll do this. I'll keep you from making decisions as long as I can. And if you go, fucking Far Striders are gonna step in and do it without us. Well, I'll make that difficult for them too, if I can.
I'll do my best to help you with that if I get the opportunity. And I'm gonna sort of, as I'm going about my business around working on this stuff, I'm definitely gonna like try to dig up any dirt I can on the Far Striders. Mostly legitimately-ish, but like, yeah.
There's a lot of dirt. The Far Striders are the kind of family that there's a lot of just dirt that's already been formed, but they're the kind of family that a lot of it just doesn't stick because money makes them dirt-proof in some ways.
Yeah.
But it's always just the challenge is not finding dirt, but finding new or significant things that will actually make a difference.
I definitely like.
Hey, Carly's the one who wanted to play from a trading company.
It's true.
No, I love it. I'm just
no
saying.
idea what I was getting myself into when I picked a character trying to make it like a reason why they would have traveled around.
This fantasy game is getting a little too real.
It's about market share.
I prepared these 15 graphs of the profit margin and the shares that we have.
Capitalism.
Great. So you two meet up and begin to head back to the shipping.
Mark, every day.
I'm so proud of
I'm gonna send just a nice little sending spell to that crotchety old wizard.
The one outside of Kenton, right?
Yeah.
So,
whatever his name was.
One of the things Cole is trying to tell Nazira is to get that guy to run the teleportation circle in Kenton.
I have his name written down in notes.
Somewhere.
It's in a different binder.
But I think the dwarves will want to run the teleportation because isn't it
Oh,
the
that's
one
true.
in Kenton
Yeah, that's right.
in there?
They already have one there. That's
area?
true.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. We don't need him. He's a backup.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just
Yeah.
one a day. Different
still...
random times throughout the day.
That's important because there are certain times, like sometimes doesn't respond at all. At a very erratic, like there's no sense, no time like, oh, he's sleeping at this period. It's just like sometimes nothing, sometimes something. Still crotchety. As it's become more clear, at least at this point, that you're not there to like demand they like raise your dead family members, like solve all their problems with magic somehow. Like as soon as like they realize like, oh, this person's actually like a practitioner of the arcane as well, they're coming around a little bit.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Putting in the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, real quick, Nazira, I assume you will be wanting to cast some legend lore at some point?
Eventually, yeah. My list. Let me see. Hold on, I have to pull up my document. Continue on. This might take a second.
So yeah.
So I can't think on
confirmation. Just that confirmation is enough for me to go on.
Okay.
So Josh, Johan. In the aftermath of the events in Scofia, you return back, deliver your report to the Wayfinders Guild. And you have come up with or gained a huge amount of material for some kick-ass songs. And what's your process like when you start like hammering out some new material?
Yeah, so I really, a lot of the songs that the band develops are based on the adventures and the missions that we take, usually in defense of threats from the wild attacking people that can't fend for themselves. There have been missions, threats that the band has engaged specifically with the Glengould Imperium. So we have some albums that have been released based on those confrontations.
Beef rats.
In this latest bout, we have never, come across a threat quite like this before. Johan spent a decent amount of time in Scofia reflecting on the adventure and the death of innocents that he observed, and came up with a track that they played in Scofia called Praise the Departed, based upon the death of the Scofian citizens that were transformed into the undead. And in that song, were a couple of messages. One, the haze and the ebbing of the sun that the party had experienced as they got closer to the temple and felt that creeping undeath and heaviness in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The second, just a reminder that the missionaries from the Glengould Imperium cannot be trusted. They will kill you. So he poured one out for Cormac.
Oh, yes.
So that's kind of the songwriting process. It all comes back to how can we undermine and destabilize the Glengould Imperium by inspiring the citizens of within the free cities to stand up and do what's right.
Yeah. The latest banger propaganda track from what's the band called again?
Empire of Anarchy.
Empire of Anarchy. Okay. You feel like this song's like basically just about like ready to debut. First night you're gonna be playing it. You always know like songs also still like after they're done, they end up changing a little bit after you play them live a few times, just feeling like the sensation of like the audience interaction with it, the vibe, like everything. You go give me a performance check with advantage here, as you're coming into this as a returning, not only just a favored citizen of Scofia, but a returning hero.
Performance, you say?
With advantage.
With advantage. 29.
You begin, and you are just like pouring yourself into this song. The focus is so intense that the like bobbing tavern that you were on, like on the docks of Scofia, it's like the whole like stage is like shifting and moving with the waves. Like all of that just kind of like goes away, fades away from your focus, and you hit such like a flow state that you are no longer like aware of yourself. There is just the music, and it is perfect. There you play and you play, and minutes pass, and then hours, days even. You do not know. You play this song, you play back through the last like album drop, You play through like the original like song that you wrote after your first like encounter with the Gwyngold Imperium that kind of inspired this journey. You play through your entire repertoire of music, every single song played in front of people or not, every song written, every song thought of, every little guitar lick for a better, like every bit of where you're playing the horn and the percussion still, right? Every little horn blow that's doesn't materialize to a full song, but it's just something that you're working with at some point. And you look around, you are in an amphitheater. For a moment, there's like this twinge of just familiarity with the recent experience up at that temple and just the horror of all that. But this place is good, and it is safe, and you feel comfortable here, and you realize that you are no longer playing for this, the Scofian locals and pirates and brigands and such, but the amphitheater that you are in is filled with faceless spirits, just the form of different people all gathered here, and you can feel and almost hear this like suppressed noise of like a standing ovation of like thousands and thousands of entities or spirits or something are here gathered, having watched your performance. You look around and you see that this space has no sky in the traditional sense, because as you look up, you can see that this amphitheater is connected to other structures and rooms and spaces that seem to like go on for virtually an eternity, but instead of losing them in the distance of the horizon, they instead just like loop and curve gently all around you. And you can see like clouds and like brilliant lit air, almost like this light this air that seems to have its own luminance in the middle of this space, but there is an infinite and never-ending sort of assembly of spaces you see in the like nearby, one that seems to be just like full of enormous stacks of scrolls. As you take this in, and the kind of this like faint sounds of this applause begins to fade, you see that there's someone next to you on this stage, and you look over and see, hear first, voice says, "Killer set, man." You look over and you see this like a human with like a big like septum like piercing things, like some braided and like some shaved parts of his head. He has like tattoos all over his body and stuff. You recognize on like his hands, like you can see this like lightning bolt symbol that like extends out through his fingers, and just like this crackling, expanding lightning bolt. He has this like really like roughly made like sort of lyre on his back. You can see like homemade strings. You can see the parts of like imperfection where the intestines have not been like twisted and like prepared all the way like perfectly. He says, "Hell yeah, right on."
It's you. I can't believe I'm speaking with you right now.
Yep.
I'm so honored. I never, since I walked away. Yeah.
Sometimes when the words don't come, we let the music speak. And he pulls out his lyre. And it echoes throughout the space. And he invites you for just a jam sesh.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. This plays minutes, hours, days, lifetimes. Who knows? In this space, it doesn't seem to matter. And so much is said through the music What do you think the music community? What is Johan speaking in this through his music in this moment?
Peace. You know, Johan's roots, his journey started with worship of Talos. And a lot of pain, a lot of destruction, trying to do everything he could to fight the Imperium no matter the cost. And so to be able to find that peace, but still experience that charge, that electricity through performance, it's like coming home.
Yeah. With the last intense solo, and then you doing the last intense solo, returning to the harmony, then it slowly ends, and he just looks at you and says, "Right on. Name's Vink Vangus, Skald Talos, Songkeeper for Autumn. You're in a place where all good music comes to live. All the rest of knowledge in the universe comes here too, but it's the best spot." Been doing some gnarly shit recently.
It's been heavy. A lot of death. Sometimes, especially recently, I had a run-in with someone. His name was Cormac, and he, solid guy, really solid dude, just caught up in a mess that was way beyond his means. Shit's not good here.
Yeah. Yeah. Seems like all I did when I was alive was just deal with some clusterfuck or some shit. This wasn't my making, but somebody had to do something about it.
Yeah.
Somebody had to tell the story about it, right, too.
Yeah.
And one time I caused an avalanche with a single chord play. It was... You ever get just right where it seems like the music amplifies the magic you're casting and it just explodes out? Like, first time that happened to me, an avalanche nearly killed me and my friend. So. Damn, it didn't sound good. You've got something special. Not only the ability to speak to what you've seen, but the willingness to go out and find the shit that's worth making music about.
This place, I've only heard of it, I've read about it. Is there anything here that can help me fight the darkness that's coming?
Oh yeah. This answers just about every question here, but the challenge is taking things back to where you're from is it's heavy and it's costly. So most of the time things come here, but they don't go back. Your music will stay. You'll get to go back. You've got a lot more songs to play. But what we can do for you, make an introduction. You're not the only one from your place in your time that's come to these halls. We'll be able to help each other figure things out.
I want to meet him.
Well, he's a her. This
She's
time.
learning so much already.
Not far off though. She's been many things in her time. An elf type. Well, I hope we can jam again sometime. And he sort of like just fades into one of these like more like transparent spirits, as if like the personality that this person was like came to the surface and then receded back. The spirit leads you through winding halls, infinitely complex, this maze of space, where you see like in one room, like if you see this like kind of like transparent wall or this like glass wall, and you can see inside is like a whole like would basically like a whole like traveling troupe like putting on an entire like show. In the next room, you see just like some old person, this like grandfatherly, hunched figure, just reading like what would be like a bedtime story or something. This is a place where stories and knowledge is collected. And you see in this place all of so many of those things being recorded. Time certainly means something very different here. But eventually you were led into a room that is a painful to behold room where like this whole space is obviously like beyond any demands of like function or like form that would be present in the world. This chamber that you're in is like this tall room, much taller than it is deep or wide, and there are parts where it looks like it's just like broken in, and like there's a part that looks like it's smaller somehow, even though the still's taking up the space, like the resolution is higher in that space. Just like this weird disjointed like library room filled to brimming, even to the point where some shelves are like spilling over with odd scraps of manuscripts and books and scrolls and things. You are led in here by the spirit, and you see an elven woman in there. Azira, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, so I am wearing a very colorful robe. It's got all sorts of, every color, sort of randomly patterned with bright shinies on it as well. I think I have a crown of flowers last I recall.
Sure.
Yeah. A very fancy like leaf-like horn hangs at my waist, and yeah, and probably barefoot. Yeah, and I'm probably I don't know. I made a list of what, but I'm probably got a book in my hands and I'm looking for some answers. I have a clear intent.
Say that the book that Azira is looking through, Azira is still so focused that is not aware of your presence. You see a familiar symbol, the symbol of a sun in a low position with rays shining stylized. The rays in this book that she's looking at are this kind of like bloody gray.
I'm sorry, I've seen that symbol before very recently. Hi.
Hi, you have a face.
I do. I was just performing in Skofia, and now I'm here. I recognized the symbol on that book.
What do you know of it?
Not a lot. I found a temple that was dedicated to the Sublime Radiance, and there was a man who had a shield, who was working with undead, and on his shield was that symbol. This man tried desperately to get to the city of Lumos to enslave the Necrarchs, and Well, I don't know much more about that symbol, but it stuck with me. It haunts me. Between that and the nightmare that we had on that journey, there's things about that mission that I cannot shake.
The city of Lumos, you said, with the neckarchs?
Yes.
Mark, do I know? Does anything he was saying, like the what was the
The
light?
sublime
the
radiance.
sublime radiance. Does that ring any bells?
Sublime radiance. Give me a history check.
Is
Or
that
religion
symbol,
check.
symbol of sublime radiance?
No, it was what was on Cormac's shield.
Oh, right.
But
Okay.
the sublime radiance basically had the opposite. The sun was at its zenith with the rays coming down, and on
Oh,
Cormac's
where did
shield it
D&D
was
go?
the sun laying low with the rays coming up.
Okay.
Please hold.
Do you die?
Yeah, but I also need my character sheet.
Ah, okay.
So let's see here. I was leaving and I was like, don't forget your dice. And then I promptly
Listen,
forgot my dice.
That's what happens every time.
It's true. It's very true. I don't think I've remembered my dice like once since we started meeting in person.
I don't think that's accurate.
Oh,
That's
silly, silly. Alright, we'll go to the website then. I'm sorry, guys. I had it up and now I don't know where it went. And maybe I should rely less on apps to tell me what to do.
What?
Rely on a large collection of pages of paper scattered throughout a notebook like me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
way
it's
easier
way
that way.
easier.
So.
Okay. I think it's placed.
Oh man.
Eleazar is the name of the wizard.
Yes, we
outside
saw
of
that.
Peckins, or Valkyrie.
That's right.
Do 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 do.
Grace just saying shitty right now. Completely comes along.
17.
17. The Sublime Radiance is, not something you're very familiar with. You feel like you've heard the name. You've heard it referred to, or being used to refer to a bunch of like gods,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know much beyond that
Okay.
offhand.
Does the symbol look familiar at all?
The symbol that you're looking at there, this book that you're looking at right now, will say this was on your legend lore. I'm assuming that you're going to have a legend lore related to, so you have Loomis, Orcus, and the Wand of Orcus, and or
I think I already did the one.
I think you did. That's true. And or the
Neckarchs.
the Neckarchs, and specifically like the vampire. You know,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
like a
that's right.
vampire at Loomis.
Vampire.
This symbol refers to an entity that it is identifying as the Dark Star Prince.
Dark Star Prince. Do you know anything beyond that? Just the name?
You've only just now begun to like look at this section of this page. The name is not one that you've been familiar with before this, but you are welcome to spend some more time looking into it here.
Yeah.
But
Say.
you're being addressed by another faced
I
person.
know. This is so difficult. Say, I just read that the symbol is representing the Dark Star Prince, but I don't know who that is yet. Lumos is where the Wand of Orcus is being kept.
Oh.
Orcus is the god of undeath, not dead. You said you're in Skofia?
I was, yes.
Are you still there? Before you were here, you were there?
I don't know where here is, but yeah, I was performing in Skofia, and now I'm here. And I don't know if I'm still there.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, unless you're dead.
I could be. It's been
But I haven't seen anyone else with a face, so I think you might still be alive.
Okay, it was a really good set.
I believe you. We
So you
should
said
be
the Dark Star Prince.
Dark Star Prince.
Dark Star Prince. That's a name I didn't come across. There was a library in the temple that I and my party was in for the Sublime Radiance, and that name I don't recall seeing.
Where was the temple?
It was in the Bramblewood, about 3 days journey from Scofia.
Okay. Did you keep any books from the
Day and a
temple?
half I missed.
Sorry.
Missed is the best way to travel.
Unfortunately, I didn't bring books back, but the library is still there.
Okay. Do you have anything from that library?
Just the knowledge. I have letters from the priests, the clergy that were in the temple, describing the Sublime Radiance. It was a pantheon of sun and light gods. And then at this point, is it okay if I describe?
Yeah.
Okay, so here, if you want to catch up.
Ooh, okay.
So it's basically everything underneath the chapel, and then
Carly needs to hear this too.
Sublime Radiance. Each chair was used by individuals who represented each role of the Sublime Radiance. How many chairs were there?
5.
Okay.
5 rays, 5 chairs.
Interesting. That's convenient. The chairs appear to have been moved, or to be able to be moved. The chapel appears to be designated for the priests who worked in this amphitheater. Interesting. Chairs. Each ray there was an emblem of a sun with 5 rays, each ray going towards one of the chairs. I'll be like, 1 second, I need to add something to my list. Sublime Radiance. And I will say this out loud as I'm trying to remember it. Dark Star Prince. I was just researching Dark Star Prince. The city of Lumos. We are headed there.
There was a man who seemed to be, there was a man who had donned armor and a shield that we suspected was cursed. And he said he served Lathander, but the symbols that he bore did not match that of the Sublime Radiance. It was the Dark Star Prince. And this man was in league with the undead in the area, and his goal was to go to Lumos, to enslave the Necroarchs and rid the world of the undead. But
did the man seem alive himself?
He was.
He was alive?
He was alive. Until he was murdered.
He was for a while, yes. Best image of Mallory sitting there, like,
went too far.
watching the concert, and you just being gone and just waiting.
GI. Johan. Johan. Johan.
The Hierophants haven't been it, and I believe the Sublime Radiance failed. The world will succumb to darkness. We're sealing this place. May it find someone so that when the time is right, they can pick up where we left off. The light will shine on this world someday. Interesting. Team pursues further and finds the chambers of the 5 Hierophants of this temple. The party reviews the personal effects and journals of each priest and sees that there was contention between each of the faith. So did each of these chairs have a different symbol on them?
Let's talk about the chairs.
Would you be able to recreate these symbols?
Yeah, it was just the symbol that represents each of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can confirm it was the 5 divines?
No.
It was.
They were not the 5.
They were
Yeah,
not the 5.
It was not. If you click on the Sublime Radiance, I think there's a hyperlink that'll
Okay.
open up
Oh,
a node
okay,
that'll
okay.
tell you.
Ooh, wow, hyperlinks and everything? Man, this week my note taking looked pretty sad.
I love your notes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nazir's got a great journal.
Oh. Aminator. Helm of Anders.
Telmut.
And I know I always say her name wrong, but whatever, I'm gonna keep doing it.
I think Kossuth was the other one.
Kossuth, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the priest of Kossuth, I think, was the one that had the letter from somebody else saying like, "What you've lost your way. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't what like the fire was meant for. There must always be light and darkness."
Oh, you have entries for all of the gods?
Well, just
the one that.
the ones that come up in.
Oh
During
my
one shot.
gosh, this is amazing! Look at this.
Yeah, that's nice.
Ah.
That's like how I started using OneNote and then gave up.
And then everything just gets onto one page, and then eventually it just gets into random notebooks.
Yeah.
So I can't click it. Okay.
Yeah, some of them are just empty because they're just referenced by name only.
Prophecy of the 5. When gods left, they doomed us. Renewal of light is present, but darkness will come again. Evil will wash over the lands again. Only the 5 divines can save us from the upcoming darkness. Orcus is the source of the darkness.
This is literally what's happening in game right now. Nazir is just like poring over this journal that is given her.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy.
This is so. How old was this temple?
Hundreds of years old. It was falling apart, but had been sealed for quite some time.
What is the name for the dark times?
Oh, the collapse.
The collapse. Was it? Do you know if it was pre-collapse?
You would think so.
Post-collapse?
Yeah.
Cataclysm,
Pre. I always want to say cataclysm, but I know that's not right. This was before the Gwengold Imperium?
I believe so. Yes.
So you would have guessed that the temple probably we'll say the temple you would have learned that predated the collapse, like had some it was there before, but had been like co-opted by these priests in the Divine Radiance, like trying to accomplish the Divine Radiance project or whatever it was. So it like existed in the way back, and then like pre-collapse, and then existed. Then like it seems like this effort was probably during the collapse, like during the Dark Era. So yeah. There was less note that the Sublime Radiance, their efforts required basically like 4 places of power to be utilized. There was some other note in one of those letters that was basically saying that they were trying to utilize power or tools left by the gods before the collapse to this end for the Sublime Radiance. Their goal was to use these powers and stuff left behind from the pre-collapse to purge all undeath from the world in one fell swoop. And that seems like what Cormac was trying to do. Didn't seem to be cursed, seemed to have been convinced that was a mission from Lathander. The last thing that Cormac was trying to activate for effectively like were teleportation circles. 4 locations, 4 circles that you could certainly have written down and recorded.
What locations?
A temple, it should be should still have a lot of the undead still in the area, right?
At the one by Scopia?
Yeah.
It seemed that in the unspoken prologue of that, it seemed that after the efforts, after Cormac was killed and the undead abomination was destroyed, and like once like all those like focuses of the Necronomicon's influence and stuff, of Orcus' influence, once those things were dispersed, that it seems that things have been tamped down for the time being.
Okay.
You've kind of like broken the power of the influence there, at least for now. But as you've learned, the Necronomicon is loose, and these sorts of things will continue happening in different ways.
Do you know what locations the teleportation circles were meant to be?
We thought Lumos. It
Lumos.
seemed like from the letters they described that this temple was a pathway to Lumos.
Sorry.
And I, as someone who loves studying ancient and arcane texts, there was a library there that I did not have a chance to go through. All I have are these letters that we found in the
But you have the letters, which means we can teleport back to the library.
Sensing a solo mission.
Side quest. Reading quest.
There was also
do it.
near one of the towns where we first encountered Cormac, there were ruins that Cormac had fallen into, where he found the armor and the shield from this Dark Star Prince. We never looked at that location either. It was the tomb of the hero of flight, is what Cormac called it.
But it didn't make sense.
But it didn't make sense because in that area, the armies of light were led by a Templar named Rene Thucan, and Rene led these armies against the forces of Undeath, but was sadly defeated. Cormac had said that this was a tomb dedicated to Rene, but who was alive to erect this tomb if only Undeath was present?
That's a very good question.
An idea.
Your time in this space is coming to an end. I imagine you might make some.
I'll meet you in Scofia at the something tavern.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Which one?
That's actually the name of it.
The something tavern.
The something tavern. I play there all the time.
It's double ration.
Yeah, right.
That was the nice one.
Double ration.
Yeah.
And then there was the one that was like
The mess.
seedy.
The mess.
It's
Right,
also the
the
in
mess.
town.
Yeah. In town. Yeah.
My friend Quill will be accompanying us.
Okay.
And then we'll rejoin our other friends if you're interested in joining us.
This was the last show that we're playing for a little bit, so okay.
Well,
Taking a break from
Yeah.
each other.
we
It
could.
seems like there's a bigger threat to deal with.
There's so many threats.
Which is great. I smell money and material for a new album.
There you go.
There we
yeah,
go.
Yeah. All right. And I guess we'll wake up.
Yeah. You return to your respective locations.
How do I get out of here?
Zero disappears and like left in this weird room for a while. Until you start hearing this, hearing the voice of GI.
Johan,
Whoa.
finally, you are here.
Free bird!
The space is cleared out. There's like one person that still is like heavily drunk, like still sitting in the stage area or the crowd area, and like sees you like, encore.
To the mess!
Yeah, you return to yourselves, deal with any other, business you have in your respective locations.
Hi, Eleazar. Just checking in. How's your homunculus?
Does he ever respond?
Every once in a while, she gets very, very curt responses. They're usually like, "Stop calling."
We're friends now.
It's gone from promising to curse you with 1,000 curses if you message him again to just like.
Well on your way, being a reluctant friend.
And with the world hopping talents of Nazira, you pick up Quilla in Pasa.
How are things going,
Quilla will rant to Nazira about her family. We have trouble with the Imperium. We want the teleportation circles. They've gotten wind. I guess that shouldn't be a surprise with all the spies we've encountered. But
is there any way to feed them faulty information?
Maybe. We can see about doing that.
Sabotage their efforts?
Yeah. I'll list my brothers in that.
And maybe we could get some conversations between the Hidden Kingdom going for sourcing this wizards.
That would be great. If we could source some more wizards from the Hidden Kingdom, that would be all the better.
At least until they get going, if your father's so worried.
There's I know of a wizard or two in Pasa. They're trying to start a school there.
Excellent.
But
have you
they can
have you vetted them?
Yeah, they're reliable.
Okay.
At least one of them.
You can also tell your father that we have connections in places that we don't.
I'm not really sure we're on speaking terms right now, but I told him
a
bit when I left.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't tell him about the kingdom though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But because there is a significant force to our east as well, we could talk about as if we had connections there. At least as a stalling method.
Yeah, I told him I was going to be passing out business cards out east, so we've got some work to do, and they're I suppose his most valid point was a sense of urgency. Otherwise, she just like starts muttering and like walks
Did
off.
you start spreading word about the Farstriders and their slavery campaign?
I talked about how they're all in league with the Imperium.
Okay.
And
with the Dwergars. I imagine people won't be too fond of that.
Good thing to zero.
You might want to. But I mean, if you spread that beyond your family too, to other people, then people might be less willing to work with them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think we can spread that around the cities. I've got a few connections I want to go check in on while we're out and about. Do you mind helping me get there?
Absolutely. Do you have something from those cities?
Yeah, probably.
Well, then I can probably help. Depending on whether I've been there or not.
Yeah.
Where did you need to go?
Bazan and Urdura.
Okay.
You and me both.
Bring.
We definitely have something about Valkyrie.
If you have anything at all, whether it be a letter or a stone, anything, bring that, and that will serve as an anchor point to that city so that we can teleport there.
Okay. Yeah.
When does a piece of paper become from that location?
That's very good.
Like,
I've often wondered that. I've often wondered that with teleportation, because
saying something is
It's
strong
bound
somewhere.
from
is
your
something-
Was it
experience.
just sold
It connects
there?
to
Yeah,
your own experience.
exactly.
It's the only,
Exactly.
It's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the magic.
I would definitely have something. Actually, I would probably have something from Erdra and Bazan because I have. If I have something from my uncle or from my grandparents, then I would have something from each of those places.
Do you have a temple here?
What?
A temple?
A temple here in Casa?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's.
What's the most common god here?
Well, there's a lot of gods here. So there's actually. Come. There's like a mini godded temple. A place of worship to whoever you worship.
Probably the god of trade. I'll make another little coin with the depiction of the god of trade.
Nice. Add it to your library of objects. Yep. Excellent. You guys make any quick hops and visits you need to. You equip your brother with the knowledge of the Vance and the Forest Riders or dealing in slaves, and use Nazira's knowledge to help, basically prepare some mock teleportation circles and stuff. They're all wrong. They're going to make things difficult for them in some way. It's nuclear secrets, but they're bad. And then you are on your way, and you arrive back in Skopje, where you recently were.
I would also like to set up an appointment with maybe Cole's brother or something, someone more trustworthy, to meet with my father or another representative.
Oh. Yeah.
If possible.
And I think, is it reasonable that my brother and I have a pair of sending stones for communication from our childhood?
Yeah, you can have that. You can drop some family money and purchase something like that in Casa. If you didn't have it already, but you're welcome to have that as part of your backstory.
I think we had it as
I'm sorry.
I think we pilfered it off the back of a box that got left behind or something.
So now the three of you all united, and then travel from Skopje directly to Shippy.
I'm kind of curious what Quill's description is.
Yeah. I was gonna get all of us there on the ship, so you guys could all just suddenly you're on the ship together, and you guys can describe. But that works too. If you two also just want to describe yourselves, because you're seeing each other for the first time on the mess on the docks of Skopje with the overlooking the bay. Quilla, there's just this moment though as you're struck by the seascape and the smell and all these familiar things that you were just awash in your mind for a moment. Your mind being drawn as if by gravity back to the maw in the distance, just barely visible, a haze on the horizon. But then you're back in your body. The kind of that wave of deja vu or something passing, and you are meeting a new companion.
Quilla, this is. I don't think I got your name. I'm Nazira. Johan.
Quilla.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. And I'll give you a business card for my family's trading company.
Oh, no, I yeah, sure. Flip the card over and autograph it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Quilla is nothing if not gracious, so she forgoes the business attempt and tucks the card away.
Remember Windblown Trading for all your trading needs.
Windblown Trading.
Windblown Trading is my favorite.
I'm open to sponsorship deals. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll let my brother know. He handles the.
My brother
the
as well
advertising.
handles the business.
Yeah.
We'll get connected. Do you have a business card?
Yeah.
Perfect.
As you're acting, you see Kula is quite tall, appears pretty much human. She has very dark gray eyes and or like just like really like porcelain smooth white skin. Her hair, Nazira would know that like her hair previously had been kind of like a blondish brownish color, but now has a sort of like sea green tint to it. That's kind of a recent development. And she's if she pretty much passes as human, but
Cool. Okay. Johann, very clearly a half elf. Kind of white hair, eyes kind of very light blue, almost kind of like crackling lightning. Very clear that Johann is into heavier music. So you see he's got tattoos kind of up the arms. You can see some of them kind of coming up the neck a little bit. Johann's wearing plate armor, darker colored. Just everything about him seems very, very heavy. Heavy music, twisted steel and sex appeal kind of guy. Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, and you would see that like Quill has like nice traveling clothes and kind of like just like nicer style leather armor. She's also wearing like strapped tightly across her like torso is a rod that you would notice has some like kind of like waves and like oceanic themes to it. And it's just she wears it kind of strapped across her and frequently holds onto it just like it's almost like a tip or a security blanket.
Interesting.
Tends to grab it.
Interesting. Does the rod seem magical to me?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Really?
It's like at the very least like incredibly well crafted and interesting. It's like it looks like from its base, it looks like it looks like kind of like a rod that looks like coral growing up off of the stony shelf of the seafloor. Like the base of it is this kind of like dark rock that kind of like transforms slowly into coral, and the top of it has kind of like exploding like kind of coral look.
That's a really interesting rod. Where did you come about it?
Funny story. It was given to me. But sort of.
That's mysterious. I don't think I should ask.
Yeah, I mean it's a long story, but yeah, I
Would you be able to help me with something? I have a staff that I came across in one of my journeys in an abandoned temple not too far from here, and I pull out the staff that I think you had described it as being very ornate and fiery and conjuration magic. We don't know much more about it.
Yeah, it hasn't been. I don't think it has been identified yet, but it was like a full staff made out of this kind of like crimson sort of like reddish wood that's very like hard and sturdy feeling. It has like ornate engravings all throughout it, and like a bright like burning fire kind of like up top of the thing, like depicted like carved into this.
It's a good one.
I don't know anything about it. It just seemed that it was of some importance to the people that lived in this temple.
I imagine Nazira can help us identify it.
Yeah.
She's the expert in all these types of things.
Interesting. And we had spoken about this. It's the same temple.
Okay. The temple to the
about 3 days journey, a day and a half if you're missed.
Well, that sounds like a handy way to travel.
It was. It was a long ritual when you're in combat.
Do we have about 10 minutes? Yeah. All right. I'll take a table and set this staff down and just start investigating it. And I would like to use my ritual of identification.
Yeah.
all the names.
You spend the 10 minutes necessary casting the magic. Your focus so locked on that you don't notice GI like being so heavy that they break through some of the boards of the mast into the water of the bay below. And then like Johannes like dive in like there's like full process in the background happening. But eventually like 10 minutes pass, you complete the ritual and you look up to see Johann drenched with water, but still standing more or less where they left. I don't know how they got so wet.
I mean, I've been traveling with Quilla, so it's kind of
Yeah. Sometimes
water happens.
water happens, yeah.
Sometimes water happens.
Sometimes the ocean comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. So this is a staff of the pyromancer. And it has some special abilities. It counts as a magic weapon and some stuff like that, like a +1 staff. But it also can be used, it has some charges and can be used to cast some spells. Those spells include Scorching Ray, a Ganazar's Scorcher, and a, think of it as a not a hellish rebuke, but a fiery rebuke.
Okay.
Just reskinning that spell a little bit to be not devilly. And you notice that this staff has identifying this, like you like getting it, like you as you're identifying it, you're getting the sensation of like the types of magic involved in this. And like the evocation and the flame is like this energy just wants to burst forth out of this thing and just burn everything. Seems like crazy wizard or sorcerer stuff, but you realize that this is a divine magic. This is you see that this is enchanted with a boon of Koseth, a god of just like of fire and primal like energies and burning and stuff. This belonged to one of the priestly members of the Divine Radiance, or the Sublime Radiance, whose name I don't have in front of me at the moment, but this is something that, what is unique about this is that this can be attuned to, not just by wizards and sorcerers and the ilk, but clerics as well.
Interesting. Yes. Pass that information along.
Yeah. Interesting. So you had mentioned something about a shippy.
Yeah. Would you like to meet him?
Yeah. What is it? Exactly, or who is it?
You'll find out.
Oh, okay.
And I will cast teleport to take us over to Shippy.
Yeah.
I'm just pretending I can do multiple teleports in one day.
Yeah, it's just
for convenience.
Just try to look over to say goodbye to Malorian. It's just all I can get out is a but.
For the god! Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't let you say goodbye to your friend.
Bye-bye! Okay.
The world around you vanishes in a brilliant white void. You feel weightless for a moment until the world appears again. And there's a moment where you like look around and can see you are suspended above the earth, hundreds and hundreds of feet up. You feel like you're about to fall to your death. There's like a split second where your inner ear like resets. You like the spell goes off, but you drop like an inch or two. So there's this moment where you're just like, oh! You look around and your feet make contact with the dark wood of a beautifully made but somewhat strange vessel, as it has no masts or sails and is flying seemingly weightlessly through the air. All three of you show up, and you come across, like right in the middle, right between, in fact, a group of 5 humanoids. Looks like a half elf in there. All kind of like standing at like strict attention as they like kind of like get shocked by your arrival. But they're like looking past you as soon as you arrive, and they're like, Master Captain, what do we do? And right behind you, you turn around and you see a small, stinky little halfling who is just was interrupted reprimanding his lazy crew and Ellis in particular for their lack of crewmanship or something. Who knows
Drake's not
what?
trained. Why Drake no trained?
In the halfling's hand is a rope which leads to a drake, a like large liberty bird thing that's like probably like 80, 90 pounds. It has like an enormous wingspan if it could unfurl its wings, but it is tied up by ropes, has ropes around its mouth, and Gray's just like, why no train? You are interrupted by the popping explosion and displacement of air as Nazira, Quilla, and someone new shows up on the deck of Shippy.
Gray is going to throw the rope to Ellis. Make Drake learn. And then give Quilla, like big hug, big words, big hug around the leg.
Aww.
Who this?
I give Gray a really fancy piece of paper that I brought for him.
Oh,
with
man.
all sorts of fancy writing.
Oh man, he is thrilled. You see before you a little halfling figure wearing a little wolf head. He's also got this. He is like absolutely filthy. Like when he says "who this," you see like a beetle crawl across his face and like a spider, skitter afterwards, but like no reaction. There's bugs flying around. No one's been casting prestidigitation on him. So at this point, he's real nasty.
It's been a while since he's cleansed himself in the pools of Bellerophon.
But what's not dirty is he has these bracers, which are immaculately clean. Same thing with his bow that you see is kind of made out of withered gloom wood, and has little bugs kind of crawling along it. So, he kind of stands before you. Who this?
This is Johan, a friend I just made. And Johan, this is Gray.
Friend? And he goes to give a hug.
Okay. And this is friend. Yes, I love friends. I love fans. Perhaps you know of me.
He's going to try and take your book that you've probably been writing lore into.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's not ready for public consumption.
He pulls it away. He's holding it upside down and just like running his finger along it.
A little streak of dirt.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fresh book. What you see is kind of this just song that's been put together. You're not sure what to make of the lyrics.
You see a little dirty finger go down the center there.
That wasn't
A little smudge.
still a work in progress. I'm sure I can figure out what I wrote down
I'll
there.
just do a prestidigitation and clean that off. And one for Gray too.
It's a little cleaner.
I just do it like a foot by just trying to
Live in a
just
time.
a little bit at a time so he never notices.
Gray tells Shippy, tell others. Big words, Quillaback. New person.
I'm sorry. Who are you just talking to?
Shippy?
Come on, let's
Duh.
introduce him to Shippy.
I go fly.
Okay, yeah.
And he goes back to go
Where
fly.
are they? And I'm kind of just looking around. So I've got Quilla.
Hi there. It looks like you're trying to look for me. I'm Shippy.
Who?
Shippy.
That's our ship.
Oh.
Quilla.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was the robot. I don't know what I was thinking.
Have you come up?
Oh, I'm downstairs still.
Okay.
My full name is Self-Harmonizing Interplanar Pleasure Yacht. Shippy.
Shippy, it's so nice to be back aboard.
It's so nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Shippy, anything wrong?
When you say pleasure yacht. Guys, can I do like an insight to be sure, like
My previous owner had many exotic pleasures that needed to be satiated. I helped.
I see. Gonna pull on that thread. Pull that good. Okay.
That's
Shippy,
one
great
part
to meet
fully
you.
unraveled.
Shippy, you didn't know that before.
I've learned many things about myself.
Really?
Have I ever told you the story of the great, God damn it, who's right here? This is the problem with having my notes all over the place when I need them for a great line. Have I ever told you the legend of Dendar the Knight Redacted against the Tide Redacted?
Please tell. The
Oh,
Tide
the
Redacted.
I walk out from under. God damn it, Shippy.
I want to hear the story.
You hear the heavy footsteps of Boop enter or coming up aboard the deck of the ship.
Beep boop.
We've been trying to get him to figure out what redacted is. It hasn't worked out yet.
Is it the Tidebringer?
That's more.
We're back.
Shippy.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I give a big
I
hug.
hug him back.
Don't go below decks yet.
Really?
What?
Don't.
Maybe.
Hi. I haven't seen you since you disappeared.
Yeah, but I reappeared.
Where you been?
You know, around the 3 cities. We've, mostly pasta.
We've missed you. We made
Glad to
some
be back.
choices while you were gone.
Yes?
What does
See-
Beep Boop look like?
Oh yeah. You see. My head's probably down. This face, robot-y with like half purple, grayish, with a very well sewn together hoodie of green, some fiery red, a nice good hand pocket, and a big old blingy belt on. Like huge, like just massive belt buckle.
Like classic Batman utility belt.
Yeah,
Wait,
classic.
wait.
And a giant sword, great sword on his back.
Okay.
Looking a little shabby.
Sheathed in an interesting, like, lead sheath.
Yeah. Very big, heavy, hefty thing. He looks smaller than, like, the sword is, it looks way bigger than you'd expect him to be able to carry, but he was very strong.
You got that sword when you were on that, when we were separated, so I've seen that.
Yeah.
You saw when you were reunited briefly.
Briefly.
Is your belt?
The belt I got from, we found it in Ketten during the fights, and then it got repaired by the
Dwarven
dwarves.
strength belt.
Yes.
Nice. I don't think it had been repaired yet.
Yeah, we got it fixed.
Wonderful.
It was very
That's so
exciting.
exciting.
There's more items where this came from.
Oh, really?
Exactly 2 more.
Oh.
If you might help me
You
find
hear
them.
another like heavy footsteps as another like non-human, like artificial life form comes up. This like Beep Boop is like, you know, fairly like lithe and limber and agile looking, like this like very like articulating, you know, body and stuff. You see this like solidly built automaton sort of like looking creature or like warforged looking creature like come up and like looks like metal and some sort of like metallo-ceramic like material, heavy like protected joints that kind of limit rotation and stuff, but like keep things, you know, no spears are getting in between these joints. And it just like steps up.
Here we go.
You appear to be a friend. Do you stand against abominations?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Then I count you as ally.
Right on. Right on.
I am designation 7-0-7-4. 7-9-6. 4.
If a robot could roll his eyes, Beep Boop would be rolling his eyes right now.
You pulling a piece of yarn.
7-0-7-4. 7-0-7-4. Is that right?
I think so.
What is it?
7-0-7-4. 7-0-7-4.
7-5.
7-5.
7-0-7-4.
Oh, wait, 4.
7-0-7-5.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Toga Tots.
7-0-7-4. 7-0-7-5 is Togatats.
Toga Tots.
Correct.
Got it.
This is Johan, a friend we've just made.
And you brought him on the...
He has information about Lumos.
How?
Why don't you tell the story?
Absolutely.
If you say redacted one time.
I share with them kind of the 3 days adventure that I had, the knowledge that I had encountered, the shared nightmare in particular, the chains and the pages.
As he starts talking about it, Togotats gets a little bit more, or Beep Boop gets a little bit more withdrawn as he starts to make the connections.
Yeah, Xerox comes upstairs too, like while the story is being told, like gives you this look, just like, oh shit. But I don't think Nazira and Quill have heard that dream necessarily. That might be a nice little detail.
Yeah, so going into the second day of our adventure, after a night's rest, my party and I all had a shared nightmare. And in this nightmare, let me pull up the story real quick. Can't. During the night, the party had dreams of falling through darkness into a stone-cold chamber with an open book, chains pulling apart the bindings of the book. The party feels the pain that the book is experiencing as the chains rip page after page after page. Chains stretched the book until it was molded into a person. So that was the nightmare.
It's just like this heavier and heavier silence between Xerox and Beep Boop. And Gray. I don't know how much Gray, like, Gray's not
Gray doesn't care.
He probably has his hand, like, in his bag, like, fondling the piece of Necronomicon as the story is being told.
Do you have any theories about what this book could have been in your dream?
Xerox coughs.
Xerox,
You want to do the honors?
So like I said, we've been up to
We're
things.
glad you're back.
glad to be here.
Wait, is Jared here? Is he still on?
He's been doing baby stuff.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
he's here.
So right, you left.
I'm so sorry. That
Yeah.
was very sudden. There's someone who looks like me going around doing gods only know what. They stole my
Surprisingly,
clone.
there's someone that looks like me and Xerox and Gray that went into a temple. And in that temple, we came across a person that was in chains. As well as some pictures of 5 very evil people. Harkill was one of them. Wait, Beep Boop wasn't there. Beep Boop wasn't there.
Oh, Nibbles?
Nibbles was there.
Oh, that's right.
But I do know the story, so we'll pretend. Yeah, we'll imagine Jared to there's the story. We went to find Harkill, and he wasn't there.
One of the
But
Necrarchs.
Yeah, you've heard of the Necrarchs.
I think our vampire friend told us.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
a little bit. He had that name.
I think so.
We found that there are 5 of them, and underneath their shrines was a book.
5. Yeah. There's 5 of them.
There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
What 5 are you talking about?
5 divines.
Oh. 5 Necrarchs.
Unending resplendence of 5.
Yeah, the sublime radiance.
Yeah, nailed it.
Exactly. 5 Necrarchs.
And 1 person chained up. We questioned them, but they weren't very helpful. And
what did they say?
Things that people say. They said that we could not take them to find Harkill unless we left somebody.
Turning into a person?
I did have a book turning into a person. A lot of infernal writing.
There was a lot of infernal writing. We tried to reason with them, but the only way to take we hit them with a hammer.
Pulls out a piece of flesh.
Turns out Ilmater was saving him down there. And Lathander was saving them so they wouldn't get out. And it just so happened to be the Necronomicon, which we found out afterwards. But to be fair, none of us read Elvish.
After you let him out.
We were scolded by an angel.
Oh, I'm not scolding more. I'm just making sure I understand.
Yes.
When you say let him out, you mean you released him into the wild, or
You said
We
killed
killed him.
Killed him.
you
We
killed
then
him?
released the power, if I'm getting this right, that was held captive in this body.
That's our understanding of it, yes.
Which gives rise to undead throughout the realm. When did this happen?
Like 4 days ago?
When did you
Master
go?
Captain Gray, sir.
Like a week ago?
About a week.
Can you help us with the Drake? It's feeding time.
I help. You see him pull out like a dead bird from his bag.
Ellis and
Why do we
like two of the other crew
wait,
like,
people
come
was
up
there.
with
Okay,
a,
people was
like
there.
a
Okay.
bag, like a knapsack full of live birds.
Uh,
They're like floating around inside the bag,
Pets.
and they like untie
I hear they
the
make
rope
excellent
around the
pets.
drake's mouth, and it starts like snapping everywhere, and they quickly just like
People
put
wanted
it
them.
over it. So
I
it's
mean,
like
I
its
wanted
head
them.
is in the bag with the birds, and it's just like feeding, just like going crazy, tearing at the birds and eating them. And then eventually it's done.
Make do trick first, then feed.
Sorry, Captain Master Gray.
Make roll. Make sit.
Greg,
No, learn.
can't you just charm it?
No. Bad Drake. This one have the thing in his mouth? Or is this
It's done feeding, and they're like trying to like wrangle a thing, like get the rope. But Captain Master Gray, help! They're all trying not to lose hands or fingers to this thing. But you are jump in to aid them while trying to explain things to the Zero. Love it.
What thing in its mouth?
Half metal and
Does
mouth.
it still have it in its mouth? Did they remove it?
Xerox comes around and just like grabs the thing's mouth and just like pries it open. Oh, take a look, and you can see like in the upper like palate of this one, there is embedded like a chunk of cold iron that's like been like seems like surgically implanted into it close to the brain.
Ooh,
Other
You don't
Drake,
like
no
that?
half.
interesting. Do we know who did this?
Nope. Maybe other Drake.
How did we remove the cold iron and the chains or from around? We didn't. No, we stabbed it with the root. Did it cause an explosion or anything like that?
Last time we destroyed cold iron, it destroyed a lot of things.
Nibbles almost died.
Nibbles didn't go. It was Beep Boop that went. Nibbles was up on the ship dying after
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thought so.
When did you last destroy cold iron?
Nibbles did it. It was inside Togatop.
Oh, you got rid of the chains binding his heart.
Yes. And we created a new heart.
Oh,
It was lovely.
I'm glad that worked out.
Thanks to Xerox.
Do you have that cold iron still?
It exploded.
Oh, okay. Completely exploded. How did you try to remove it?
Well, Nibbles, he cast Disintegrate on it, I believe. We found him passed out on the floor, and Togatotz's body splintered all over the place.
It was so sad. I thought he had died.
You're supposed
You,
to stay away from
see,
Gray.
why don't you describe for Josh the new character that has entered the scene? As you like see this thing as like dozens of birds from the lower decks have like escaped and fly out as this thing comes up to the top deck.
Yeah, you see the picture I showed you earlier with the beholder face with the owl head and bear head. With I think one bird arm, one claw, bird arm, and another foot, really messed up. Like, what a real monster would think an owlbear is. It's got two large wings And I think by now maybe the eye stalks have rotted away.
That's fair.
Just so
They're
there's
still attached though.
yeah, you see some like what remains of some eye stalks that were left behind. You also probably see a couple mushrooms growing on them as well.
Oh.
I know, I just get so depressed sitting in my little cage all the time.
Oh, ellipses.
Yeah.
I'll go back downstairs.
No.
Gray's
How
free
long-
of the infection. If he gets reinfected, he could die.
Gray could die.
Yes.
You're not die.
I don't know why
I mean,
we keep
eventually
ellipses here.
everything dies, right?
Right now, circle of life.
I think our first priority should be to find the tree.
Disagree.
Really.
Need fuel.
Mhm.
Find fuel.
Good point.
We're on the way to get Zephyr. There's been some updates, and I'll show you all of Shippy's new updates, like the new cannons and the new connection to the Panopticon Atlas. Oh, and he's definitely not been searching into his past the whole entire time he's been gone.
Hi there. Would you like me to stop looking into my past?
No.
All right then. I'll keep investigating the unknown territories of my mind.
1 second. I'm gonna use the root. Like I'm gonna pretend I have 2 roots now. Maybe. I don't want to destroy it.
We got one. I'm pretty sure.
I would have gotten another one in a fair while.
Nope.
I've been wanting to get another one. But it has touched the cold iron before, right?
Mhm.
And it didn't do anything.
Mhm.
Okay, so never mind. Can we surgically remove it?
That might be a question for another time. As it is now 9:10.
Okay.
And we're wrapping up here.
Did
And
anything
we've got the whole crew together on the deck.
We did it!
We did it by 9:10.
It was incredible.
Yay!
What a journey.
Did anything else happen?
Oh, we believe that somebody is sending these people signals. They came from far away. The cold iron is used to control the drakes, but that person's really far away.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. A lot of other things happened since you've been gone.
There was also
Since you've been gone!
we had a one shot that loosely tied the Grendel Imperium to the tape.
Oh man, I missed that one.
Oh!
It was the greatest game scenario where they were like had to potentially be hunted to try and like escape through this place and have a chance to fight for their freedom, but they were like taken and enslaved by some Grendel like nobility. But they had their ancestors had learned their racist ways from the Racians in Evan's Taint, and were also involved in the creation of the potions in Jared's campaign, and those made the campaign as well. I feel like there was like one other like thing that connected, but yeah, it's like just a bunch of different like one shot like other things that other people have done tied into the scenario.
Oh man. What else happened while we were?
You have the armor that you got from